Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Whew. Now, what am I looking for? Gotta go on. Time. I want you to also see if we can go back in time. See if we can go back to when we first heard it. Like, if there's any clips from like the headlines from the news, like this day, Jason Van Dyke, shooting. Is there anything we could get that plays like what it sounded like when we first saw the tape?
I think so, yeah.
And then I don't know if it's possible.
It'll take a minute to get
Okay.
out of it all.
So no problem.
Yeah.
And then I'm also wondering if there's any way, because I was on the air the day the tape got released that morning. I don't know if it's
Our
any.
stuff doesn't go back there.
Okay, and I wonder if there's anything to
If
do.
you had it on your Facebook.
I probably do. It's like if you go back to the date, I did Facebook Live
Or
and all that
YouTube,
stuff.
or-
Yeah, Facebook.
The date the tape was released?
Yeah, it would have been Black Friday, so it would have had to be that Tuesday, I think it was. Tuesday or Wednesday? What's up, y'all? Take a moment to share the broadcast. Good morning, y'all. How y'all feeling? First, I'm a little ahead of the game. I'm in a very somber mood. I told you that I believe that this case of the 3 officers, what are their names? Walsh, Gaffney, and David Marsh. What's up, y'all? Take a moment to share the broadcast. Let's see who's got your back now. I'm ready to rock this morning. I'm ahead of the game. What's up to everybody on YouTube and to Facebook Live? Let me say what's up to who's with me early. What's up, Artie Richardson? Shout out to Bolingbrook in the building. Go Raiders. What up, Brother Sadiq? You and your family are in our prayers. Also, Sadiq, if you reach out to Vince, he's willing to help out. Felicia Gatewood, shout out to Bolingbrook in the building. Let me get here. We got 28 people already. Let me get some volume going so I can know where I'm at. What's up, Freak of the Week? Shout out to
East with 100 million Americans.
Isaiah Zeke Lockhart in the building. Freak of Zeke.
Determine how much sleet and snow and ice the East Coast will get.
What's up, Tiger Lily? Let's see who. What's up, Pastor Hunter? Pastor Hunter, we gotta talk, man. We gotta talk. We gotta talk. We gotta talk. You know I'm biting my tongue. We gotta talk, man. We gotta talk. You, oh. I'm gonna be cool, but we gonna talk.
Okay, so we're putting the audio together right now. What we'll have is we'll have the attorney Todd Pugh, we'll have Pat Holmes, we'll have Marvin Hunter, Laquan's great uncle, we'll have activist Eric Russell, we'll have activist William Calloway, we'll have Kevin Graham,
Oh yeah.
and Joe Walsh, the cop.
Okay.
Okay, so it'll take her a few minutes. What time are we gonna start rolling with this audio?
Man, I'm a beat. She gotta just
Right
be
away?
queuing.
Just get her ready.
Yeah, tell her after 7:30.
Oh no, we need to get it done in 20 minutes. You know.
Huh?
I can get it done in 20 minutes.
No, I'm saying, but after 7:30, like I'm doing headlines and stuff,
Yeah.
and then 7:30 so she just needs to be ready to just, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh man.
So anyway, what's up, Desmond Hutchins? What up, Chess, etc.? What up, Freak of the Week, my man Zeke, Isaiah Lockhart? What up, Sonia Escobezy, Tiger Lily? What up, Felicia Gatewood, Dawn Johnson? What's up, Artie Richardson? What up, Sly Townsend? Shout out to Remy S. Ramesses. What's up, Rod Crowder? Linda McGill, Dawn Johnson, Verdella Walker. Verdella, you've been rocking with us for a minute now, I see. What up, Lee Perryman? What up, Alonzo Johnson? What's up? Let me see who else I got there. Double J, what's up, man? What up, Sly? What up, Deontay Atkins? How y'all feeling, man? I'm feeling a little pistivity. Did anybody watch the mayoral forum last night? I felt it was very un-Afrocentric. Is that a good word to say? I did not feel as though it was Tiger, you want to come on the camera? You want to be live this morning? Anybody want to be live on the show? Share your opinions. I can add you to the broadcast. I was very disappointed in the debate last night. Now I probably could be a little salty because I wasn't invited, but I do feel like I paid my dues or something. I don't ever get the invites, but I feel like everybody wants to be politically correct, even when it's in the black space. I felt like straight up, nobody wanted to talk about the competition for resources for black and brown. Everybody wanted to pretend like we're all in this together, and it's like we're not. And I don't know if, like, even when you talk about pensions, what do we mean about the pensions? And, like, are we talking about how much of that pension debt is really black people? I'm not saying that they don't, because I'm saying we had those opportunities. But it seems like the discussion for black folks is always the lowest common denominator. I heard some trickle-down economics. I think it's interesting that I find it challenging sometimes that so I feel like sometimes people are trying to preempt the what's in it for the black people move and do a safer version of it, right? So where you know that the people aren't going to go further or deeper, they're gonna only really ask the superficial questions. And so I know how to prepare for social services. I don't know how to prepare for the level underneath. And I feel like I keep telling y'all, most of the journalists are just that, journalists, so they don't even know where the bodies are buried to ask the real questions that get to the substantive issues. I feel like I could have given everybody's answer for them last night. having heard all of them. I'm going to say the most impressive to me, the two most vocally and verbally impressive people in the debate to me yesterday were Amara, and you're going to get mad at me, Amara and Gary McCarthy. So those were the two most impressive by what they communicated.
The Weather Service says snow that's headed our way today.
I thought that Willie Wilson went directly to the people, to the anti.
Here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at
I think that Tony Preckwinkle does not stand out. Now, I know I like what Gary McCarthy said. I understand the challenge of hearing it come from Gary McCarthy, but he is saying some real stuff. So whoever briefed him well as it relates to the history, you know, and talking about some of those issues. Now, we can't ignore his role, but I think he's a straight shooter. All right. In the mayoral forums.
Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show. Call 773-591-1690.
Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. I see you, Ronald Lewis, on YouTube. I see you on YouTube, Tiger. Who's at it? Wake up, all the teachers. What up, Denise Russell? What up, Christian Pilot? Hey, Christian, happy birthday to the baby yesterday. Was she 2 yesterday? And the world is in their hands. What up, Melvin Griffin? What up, Clifton Pierce? Linda Perry. What up, Shanika? Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and y'all, it looks like I'm rolling solo dolo this morning, but it's all good, because you know what? It means more mic time for me. I don't have a problem with that. Hey, it's the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. You know what? I got up this morning prepared for it to be cold and chilly outside, but it was like a nice 34 degrees. You know, at 34 degrees around here in Chicago in January, I don't even put on a coat. 34 degrees, I'd be like, oh, is it summertime? You know, I start to almost feel like white folks. I almost came to work in shorts and flip-flops today. Just, you know, I always wonder what it feels like to be white like that. You know, but then, you know, you go downstairs. I tried that one time. I tried to take the garbage out one time in my flip-flops. Yeah, nah, I won't be doing that. Hey, but it is the morning show, y'all. It is the day after. And I'm kind of hungover. But you know how you hungover, but you're thinking about going to brunch? And you might have a Bloody Mary because you hope that will help you recover from your hangover. That's how I'm feeling today. So let's start with the fact that what I believe, and I will still maintain this, that the most important trial out of all this Jason Van Dyke stuff was yesterday. And it was, in my estimation, the blue code of silence being put on trial. It was, can police officers essentially get together, put their story together, and protect the murder loop? Well, apparently, according to Judge Dominica Stevenson, remember that name. Judge Dominica Stevenson. Remember that name. The state did not prove any of its case. And so all three of those jokers walked free yesterday. And can I tell you, they had a look about them. They had a look about their win that was like, I was kind of glad they wasn't going. They had already resigned. Because can I tell you what? It was going to be some Negroes getting their butts whooped yesterday. They was getting ready to get in their cars and go find some of y'all to whoop on and write a false report. But you know what? Let's stop. Let me do this. Let's get the soul plane off the ground. And to do that, I got to say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up with you, Annette Flournoy, in the newsroom?
In a way that put it in perspective for me. She said, you know, we did not bring down the wall of a code of silence, but they did put a crack in it. And, you know, just having this trial, bringing all of the facts to light, as you talked about the judge, Dominica Stevenson, she didn't see it that way. She didn't see that they were in cahoots, that they concocted a story, that they lied in their police report. However, the prosecution was very clear in showing the dash cam video showed clearly what happened that night. So, you know, the truth is out there, and now we just have to move forward because there's a big sentencing today.
You can't handle the truth. That's the problem. The problem is they can't handle the truth. And you know, I was thinking about that crack in the blue wall, and you know what it sounded like to me? Remember when Hillary lost? And she said, well, who was it? Hillary? And she said, I may not have broken through the glass ceiling, but there's 1 million or whatever she said, 2 million cracks in it. But she,
right.
So let me start here by saying that Patricia Brown-Holmes was facing an uphill battle. I think that I was a little bit optimistic, knowing about how the justice system works, and we've seen it in every case of police murder. Have we seen a police officer get convicted yet? Outside of this Jason Van Dyke thing. And so I think that because we were so immersed in it locally, we felt like maybe this once we would be the champions. But I'm going to tell you, Chicago proved itself to be Chicago again yesterday. And I'm going to tell you, I want to talk about how we're going to deal with this today. I mean, I'm going to let y'all know this whole show, I'm going to talk about the mayoral forum just a little bit, but this whole show, black folks, y'all get your phones ready, get your phone numbers, get your calls. I want to hear what you got to say. 773-591-1690. We're going to talk about the Blue Code of Silence going on trial, plus today's outcome for Jason Van Dyke, and what will that outcome look like, and how will we respond? Because I'm going to tell you, I feel like we done some of everything. We done some of everything, and I don't know where we go from here, at least externally. I think we may have to turn around and look inside the circle and start saying, hey, y'all, I keep asking y'all, what is the defense for black people? What is our plan to protect ourselves? Because we don't have the luxury or the benefit of the Justice Department. We don't have the benefit of the police department. We don't have the benefit of the judicial system. Man, and when I break down to you this cycle about how this cycle of murder has continued, and what you saw yesterday was the stopgap safety valve for the Ed Burke murder cycle that has been created. That's why it was so important for for him to lock in with Tony Preckwinkle to keep those judges. I'm going to break it all down for you. I know y'all ain't going to want to hear how it goes, but I'm going to break down the Chicago murder cycle, and I'm going to show you how yesterday was the safety valve in case it ever got outside of the finance department. Then you get it to the judge, and the judge got your back. We didn't elect that judge. We didn't elect her. She was appointed, and guess who appointed her? You know what? Y'all don't play with me this morning. Y'all not ready for me this morning. Because I'm going to tell you, I had a good night's sleep, and I slept ticked off. I turned my pillow over there, and you know what? I stopped flipping the pillow over yesterday. I said I want to be sweaty and mad when I wake up. Lathered up, because we about to go in today. Where do black people have a refuge in this country? Y'all talking about sanctuary cities? What? You okay?
But
Okay.
Maze, you laid it out. We've shut down every expressway in this city.
It's time.
So there's no more shutdown, protest, and now you're laying it out, working within the system. But now, a lot of people are realizing we're not really embedded in the system, and that's where the change needs to happen.
And you know what? That's why we're going to delay this plane taking off till we come back after break, because I got to talk to my musical conductor. It's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago.
I might need a second cup of
1690
coffee.
WVON. The governor.
I got to save some of my energy, y'all. Judicial appointments go through Ed Burke and approved by the board. Ask your queen. Ask Susanna Mendoza. I'm gonna tell you, this right here should disqualify anybody who was rolling with. So this is why you need to understand that this judge is what the reason this went to this judge is because she wasn't elected, right? It went to this judge because she did owe the system. And what you saw yesterday was the cycle of murder has been protected within the finance department in the city. And I'll break it down on air because I don't want to double up and I got to save my energy. But if you think about it, most police murders never even made it to court. They were all handled with inside the finance, inside the city between the murder would happen. I'll tell y'all about it. I'll break it down later. I can't, I'm just telling you. Alonzo Johnson. What up, Carlton Smith? What up, Isaiah Lockhart? What, Alonzo, Denise, Tiger. What up, Jeanette? What up, Samuel Darnell? What up, Keith Caldwell? What up, Kip? What up, Robin Patrice? What up, Verdella? What up, Melissa Harper? What up, Albany Norton? I'm not marching, y'all. I'm just telling you, I'm not marching. I'm not getting in no marches. We need to do something different. We really need to talk about self-defense, y'all. Like self-defense. I mean, these guys would not have been fired. They would have been released back into our neighborhoods. And they would have been released pissed off. And they would have been released on our kids. Does anybody seen the Chicago Tribune cover? Let me see if I got the Tribune.
Skies on the mild side, temperatures right around 31 degrees in South Shore, 31 at Midway, and 31 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flernoli on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The WVON lineup, chat room, blog,
Look at his face.
podcast, and more on the World Wide Web at WVON.com.
Y'all gonna need to play y'all music, cause I don't want Facebook to cut this. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. This is the day after, the day after, the day after. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a little different of a show. You know, I usually come in and I'm on 20 and I'm on 50, but I'm feeling some kind of way today. In Black Chicago, I am spent. Spent, and more spent. You know, I was on air here, it feels like 3 years ago, when the Laquan McDonald videotape was released. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think that I was shocked that it happened, because I was so many times, I remember Pat Camden coming on the news, waking up early morning and saying, "This is Pat Camden, a black male suspect was being chased by the police. The suspect turned, he raised his gun, the police fired, and he was dead." So I had heard the story time and time and time again. And I remember when Laquan McDonald got killed and hearing about it without ever seeing the tape. And I was like, I got it. I already know what happened. He was running from the police. He turned, he raised his gun, they had to shoot him. Well, this one was a little different. He had a knife. He lunged at the police. And they told us he had PCP in his system, right? They showed us, they gave us the description. And so it was very easy for even me to just write it off, to be like, oh, there goes another one. And then I saw the tape. And I remember seeing the tape and saying, how, Sway? How is this possible? And I remember all of us going down to Michigan Avenue. I remember it kicking off a 3-year wave of protest that culminated with Jason Van Dyke being found guilty, and these cops and the Blue Code of Silence being put on trial. And I remember the hope and the elation, and I was like, man, maybe Chicago is going to do it different. And then when Jason Van Dyke got convicted, I was like, oh, Lord. And then when they put the other cops and then they changed the date to the day before, I was like, oh, they setting it up. Y'all, we are going to get justice. And guess what? Not guilty on all counts. And I feel like what's her name, Judge Dominica Stevenson, took the hour to read and dispute the prosecution's case. I just thought of the long-lasting effects of Ed Burke. And I felt like it was imperative for the WVON listening audience, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more today, to understand that you just saw the safety valve to the protection of black murder in Chicago. What are you talking about, Maves? What do you mean you just saw the safety valve? Well, ultimately, for most murder cases, police murder cases, they never went to court. If you think about most police murder cases, first of all, they just probably said that the guy was guilty and they were able to throw it away. But in the case that they had to settle the case, they didn't go to court for those settlements. What would happen is the police department would investigate the shooting, report it to the city of Chicago's law department, who would get with finance and come up with a settlement number. So the fee for Black Death maybe was a couple $100,000 until the Laquan McDonald videotape came out. And then the fee for Black Death went to $5 million. So there was a $5 million payoff that went directly from the police killed Laquan. The law department got the case, saw it, decided we don't want this to go to court, so that because they knew that they would be up for upwards of $100 million if someone saw that. So they said we can get the cheap deal if we go take $5 million to these people, to the family. Where do they go get the $5 million? From the patron saint of the police, Ed Burke, who also chairs the finance committee. So you remember that $500 million in police lawsuit settlements? That's what was happening. Police lawsuits were, black murders were being settled in the finance department. From the law department in the city to the finance department, Ed Burke cut the check, and then it all went away and the police were all good, which is why the police always supported Ed Burke. But also, in the event that it got outside of a police murder or a case, got outside of the city's purvey, then it went to who? One of Ed Burke's judges, which is why it was so important for him to stay the chairman of the Judicial Slating Committee. Why would Ed Burke care about Tony Preckwinkle? Because Tony Preckwinkle is the person who appoints the judicial appointments person. So now, this Dominica Stevenson, who is not an elected judge, but appointed, and who was she appointed by? Ding, 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 ding. When the police go in front of her, guess what they know? That's one of ours. And so when she wrote her dissent to the situation, what you saw was the network that has been built over years. This is why it was so important for Ed Burke to raise money for Tony Preckwinkle, to put her in a position where he cannot be denied. Y'all, I'm upset. I'm ticked off. They say I can't use my word, but I really am. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just run through a couple headlines, and then we're going to move to the social media question of the day. So yesterday there were 2 mayoral forums, one at Whitney Young put on by the students, one by the National Association of Black Journalists and the Chicago Sun-Times. I am going to tell you that we have got to stop tiptoeing and pussyfooting around all of our issues. We have so many black folks that are so worried about being presentable and acceptable to white folks that we can't get to the issues that impact us. I'm going to tell you I was disappointed last night when it came to the issues dealing with black folks on that mayoral forum. Susanna Mendoza has released a poll suggesting that Ed Burke has taken a tremendous toll on Tony Preckwinkle, putting Tony Preckwinkle, Susanna Mendoza, and Bill Daley in a virtual tie. There was a West Loop library open just today. State of the art. Shout out to my man, my guy, Alderman Walter Burnett. One more time showing you how leveraging development for the benefit of the community, creating win-win situations. That's why I'm telling y'all, that's the future. I want you to remember these 3 names, though. Joseph Walsh, Thomas Gaffney, David Marsh. Joseph Walsh, Thomas Gaffney, David Marsh. I want to add one more to it. Judge Dominica Stevenson. Then I want to add 3 more. Tony Preckwinkle, Susanna Mendoza, Gary Chico. There's a network, y'all. They all participated in the feeding of a network that created this cycle of black death that made it profitable. We'll be back after traffic news and the weather. I was very disappointed.
So, he's going to be coming in earlier, but I don't know how much earlier.
Okay.
Okay. Also, did you happen to text Otis for your book?
Oh, I forgot. No, I didn't.
Can you send him one this morning?
Well, I don't like to do stuff like
I know,
that,
I
man.
know,
I don't like let him do that.
Okay.
Like I don't. Right, I'm just saying. I didn't say who, but I just don't like to do stuff like that. So I'm not gonna have any more mayoral candidates on the WVON morning show. So I'm going to be working to get them all on Poli Sci 101. A lot of stuff going on. I really can't get too far into it, but y'all have to understand that we have spent $500 million. So Laquan McDonald drove the cost of black death up, right? Usually you could get black people to settle for $500,000 to $1 million. I think when they saw the tape, the fact of the matter is if that would have went to court, they would have owed over $100 million, no doubt. And so they made an economic decision. You think about $500 million in police settlements. Think about $500 million, and that's the ones, and we usually settle. But none of those cases really ever give us a resolution in court. And I think that we are at a point where we have to do something radical. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think it is... Like, I think that there has to be more fear of consequences from black people than white people in our community. We are more scared of white folks than black folks in our own community. And they come in, rape, rob, pillage, and we turn and shoot each other. I don't know, y'all. I just don't know. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Andre Grant will be in here. We're going to be talking to Patricia Brown-Holmes as well. I mean, where are the... Will they be... Who will stand with the people? I bet you Willie Wilson will be out there. I don't know. I'm frustrated. All right.
On today, let us look at outspoken.
Take a moment to share the broadcast. Van Dyke's not going to get off, but he's going to get a low sentence. He's going to get like 6 years, 3 to 6, 6 years and 3 out. And out in 3, 2.5. You're going to get protective custody the whole time. I'm not going down there. I don't think, I mean, I think we need to move off the cameras. I really wish that we would go silent. Like, I wish that at the end of this, it was like there was no jubilee. Because fundamentally now, if Jason Van Dyke gets off, I mean, even if Jason Van Dyke gets convicted, it's like, just get the tape. The answer is now, just make sure you get all the tapes.
Greetings, family. This is Salim Muwakil, and I'm asking you to check in with America's most astute radio.
So we need people. I kill motherfuckers. Have that ready. I'm not gonna do too much in the break shot because I gotta save it for the show. But y'all keep rocking with me. What's up, Craig? What up, Mike Brown? What up, Reby Ryan? What up, Verdella? Robin, Patrice, Tiger. Hell, you gotta stop hating. You gotta pick one, man. You can't be the consummate hater. And you can't ask me to kick the table over while dissing me in the same post, bro. I'm just letting you know. But that, neither here nor there. It's like, y'all, I am, I feel compelled to try and help us see through what is going on. I don't know how to explain this, man, but it's like we're gonna get whopped again. Like, understand that they knew why Ed Burke controlled all the judges. And so when you give him back, when the biggest request was to take the judicial committee from him and give it to somebody black that was an attorney so that we could get black judges slated and all of that, and you say when you become the chairman of the party that you're going to take $150,000 and get them and stay with the system, and we know you talk about criminal justice reform, but you put Ed Burke back in the spot to pick all the judges that hate black people. It's like you could have stopped him a long time ago by stopping his ability to appoint judges. It's like you protected the system that happened. And every time we hear you talk about social justice and criminal justice, but you protected the guy who, you gave him back the committee that slated it all. Black people begged to get that spot. We had to fight to create sub-circuit judges just so we could get in that old boys club. And when we get there, you give them the keys to the kingdom, and this is what happens. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and it is the day after and the day of. It's the day after the Blue Code of Silence went on trial and was found not guilty. Was it the precursor to what's happening today as we look to Jason Van Dyke being sentenced for pumping 16 shots? 16 shots in Laquan McDonald. Social media question of the day. Let me tell y'all. Chicago, I've said for so long, Chicago has the best trained Negroes in the world. We can watch people kill us. They can beat us. They can take our property tax dollars, undereducate us, and over-incarcerate us. Now, we'll debate. We'll pontificate. We will march, protest. We might even test some stuff up. But we still continue to get more of the same. We celebrate small wins as if we've won the war as we continue to get mollywopped. And I use the word mollywopped because it's oftentimes the green team at the crux of whooping our tails. But we are in a war that we refuse to believe is happening. I believe that it's time for a wholesale change of the system that has protecting the people that have been killing us. I want to connect a dot for you, some dots. Because the social media question of the day is, what do black people need to do to make the justice system take us seriously? Give us a call, 773-591-1690. What do black people need to do to make the justice system take us seriously? Let me tell you what the first thing is. Here in Chicago, the murder circuit is a closed loop. The police kill a black person. The law department in the city of Chicago finds out. They come up with a number that they want to put a price tag on black death. Prior to Laquan McDonald and us seeing it, it probably was somewhere from $1 million to $500,000. After seeing the Laquan McDonald tape, the cost of murdering black people went to $5 million. But here's the thing about accepting the $5 million. Where did the $5 million come from? It came from the finance committee, right? Controlled by who? Ed Burke. So now the law department goes to the finance committee and says, wait, let me back up because we forgot to get the hustler lawyer and the hustler activist that brings the hustler lawyer to the family, work out the deal. Then after the deal is worked out, the finance committee approves it. The cop goes back to work. The $5 million goes to the family, and there's no substantive reform. And then we got all our activists protesting for 5 years because there was never any justice brought to the table. But in this case, the tape got out. So instead of just keeping the $5 million quiet, it became a much bigger deal, so they had to put it in court. Well, why is it good that it goes to court? Because it's going to be a judge. And who made all the judges? Ed Burke. Do you wonder why for so many years after fighting Ed Burke and standing up to Ed Burke, why would Ed Burke then jump in bed with Toni Preckwinkle? Why would he then all of a sudden start raising her all this money? Do you want to know why? Because she, as the chairman of the Cook County Democratic Party, appoints the chairman of the Judicial Committee. What does that mean? Every judge that is made goes through Ed Burke. Right? Now, in this case, you say, with all the attention on this murder case, how could this judge, what's her name, Dominica Stevenson, have a ruling like this? You want to know how? Because she was never elected judge. She was appointed judge. Appointed judge by who? Ed Burke. Now, who appointed Ed Burke the boss of all the judges? Oh, you don't want to talk about that, right? The chairman of the Democratic Party. Am I crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I'm pissed. I'm sorry. I know y'all told me stop saying it to the seniors, to the elders who heard. I am at my highest level of frustration because we are sitting here protecting. These people are sick. You all are letting 3 people right now who have been part of this from day one sit in front of you disingenuously and run for mayor. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that this was the worst kept secret in the history of secrets if you are in the party. You knew Ed Burke wanted to control the judges. You think she didn't leverage that? Hey man, you want to keep the judge? You know how he wanted to, how if they wanted their driveway, they needed to raise him some money? You want to be the judges? You need to raise me some money. And I'm not going to take it as deep as it could go, but if I took it as deep as it could go, yeah, man, y'all might not hear the morning show on Monday. But I'm going to tell you that this is a very tangled web, and when you look at how deeply they have embedded themselves in the criminal justice system, in the justice system, to deny us justice from inside. We are being denied justice from inside the process. When the judicial slate making guy can say, hey man, I need you to come to my, if he would call a billionaire and say, I need you to come on over here, you think he ain't gonna call no appointed judge who wants to get reappointed? And if you know that that's possible, why you trying to empty out the county jail? And you talking about criminal justice reform, the crux of all the judges that have been locking us up are the people that have been appointed for all these years. You want to change something, but no. Because remember that $4,000 that we was talking about that turned into 116? It's more. You want to talk about Susanna Mendoza, and she was Ed Burke's messenger in Springfield, the law and order candidate. And y'all sitting up here, you know what? I got to go. Give me traffic and weather. We'll be back. I'm spent, y'all. I'll be back. Y'all stick with me. Y'all rocking with me today? Can y'all rock with me? Can you share the broadcast? Can you give your brother a minute? You know what? I want to crack this thing so wide open, but I'm scared I'm going to hurt too many people. I feel like if I crack it all the way, I'm going to hurt more people than we going to help, which is why I got to stop. I can't go too much further. But y'all, this thing is insidious. It is insidious. And when you think about what happened, I mean, God, I really don't know how to explain this to y'all. I don't know how to explain to y'all how deep this goes. I don't. I'll be back, y'all. Let me go get a drink. I'll be right back. Y'all want to look at Sonya while I'm gone? Y'all can look at Sonya while I'm gone. There she is. So Sonya's working behind the boards right now.
I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Chicago is a big city, 234 square miles. We have 50 aldermen to watch over our neighborhoods, but only one police superintendent. As mayor, I will add 3 more superintendents and form separate districts for them to be responsible for and bringing top management to the police force closer to our citizens. Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
It's dark when you leave in the morning. It's dark when you come home at night. And yeah, it's cold outside. There's no doubt about it. It's winter in northern Illinois, and that means your energy use could go up in the coming months. Lucky, ComEd has solutions to manage your energy bills. Budget billing allows you to pay a predetermined amount each month, keeping your energy bills consistent and predictable throughout the year. Another great way to control your energy bill is to sign up for high usage alerts. Get alerts by email, text, or phone when your energy use is trending higher than normal. ComEd can help you beat the winter blues, but they can help you manage your energy bill. Learn more at ComEd.com/alerts. ComEd, powering lives. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law.
traffic report is brought to you by Peloton Live Studio Classes in the comfort of your home. Whether it's a monthly challenge to meet your goals, a training program for your next race, or setting a new personal best, the Peloton bike will make you want to show up and keep climbing the live leaderboard year round and round. Learn more about the Peloton bike at peloton.com or visit your local showroom.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
So then they gonna come in and fake like they all outraged. But you knew who dude was. You can't fake outrage about Ed Burke, Madam President. Do y'all know how many police settlements that have been settled? So what I would do is if $500 million in police settlements occurred, how do you reappoint him the judicial chair? Take a moment, share the broadcast. What up, Leslie Kane? What up, Alonzo? What up, Sly? Take a moment, share the broadcast. Fire! Fire! To the world you belong. It's a fire. What can love desire? It's a fire. To a place where we belong. You will find. Look way down in your heart and soul. I won't hesitate, 'cause the world seems cold and hot. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and I'm feeling some kind of way, y'all. It's the day after and the day of. I told y'all, while today the sentencing of Jason Van Dyke is upon us, I said, and I still maintain that yesterday's trial was the trial of the century for criminal justice reform in Chicago, because it put the actual blue code of silence on trial, and the process that police officers use to protect each other. But you know, I was thinking about the blue code of silence and the process that people use to protect each other, and I was, you know, I'm upset with Tony Preckwinkle, with Susanna Mendoza. I ain't gonna say Gary Chico only because he said I'm down with the dude, but there was a democratic code of silence when it came to Ed Burke. There was a democratic code of silence when it came to Ed Burke and criminal justice. Everybody knew that Ed Burke was the patron saint of the Chicago police officers. So when $500 million in police settlements occur, and they go through a committee, and the police and the judges always win, somebody has to say, when they're black and in control, we got to break up this whole thing with this closed loop of black murder being protected and paid for locally by the Democratic Party. And so when The Queen decided to reappoint Ed Burke, knowing the relationship he had with the police and the judges that have never found a police officer guilty until now of killing someone black. There was a tacit acceptance of that. Think about that. You know, everybody black knew, amen, they knew they couldn't mess with him because the white folks was in control of the party and Joe Barrios was in charge of the party. But when we got the black person and you make criminal justice reform your number one issue, if you protect the person that protects the police and the judges and the cycle, are you not complicit? So don't tell me about you released the tape when you put the fox in the hen house. Y'all gonna make me lose my stuff before 7 o'clock. Therefore, I am going to the phone lines. Janie, you're on the Talk of Chicago.
Hi, I just wanted to say yesterday we just got a friendly reminder that this is still Roger Taney's America, where the Supreme Court says a black man has no rights that a white man is bound to honor. What we need to do we really as black people need to take a long, hard look at the Democratic Party, who has been serving us since day one, and the Black Caucus. We need you guys to raise a ruckus. Nothing at City Hall should move until we are dealt with fairly as far as everything social, judicial, economic in this city. And it's time for us. We should really, as black people, have a march on City Hall right now, today. And the last quick comment is Jason Van Dyke, I hope, in capital letters, will go down today, but this is just a reminder that all is still well and white America can rest, that America is still intact. There's no way that they would have done, served the 3 people that they let off yesterday, as well as Jason Van Dyke,
Thank you,
and let
Jenny.
America still feel safe.
Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate you. Gwen, you're on the Talk of Chicago.
Yes. Good morning, Maze.
Good morning.
Listen, I have a question to ask you at the end, too. But anyway, we should do what the white folks do when they get sick and tired of something. They change the law. Anytime a police officer shoots and kills an unarmed citizen and gets indicted, bench trials should not be an option, because that appears to be the common denominator in all the bogus verdicts that where the police get all these bogus verdicts.
You know what? Let me be clear. The bench trial is it, but you got to have a complicit judge, right? So you got to have a judge that you can work with to make it happen. So think about this. If Ed Burke controls the judges and you put Ed Burke back and you know that the cops are going to go to bench trials, aren't you part of the problem? Don't you know? So while you standing up talking about you running commercials, you gave out the police report to your white friend. How about the fact that you gave Ed Burke a bank account to keep killing black people? Y'all better stop being black lollipops. It's Talk of Chicago 1690. Don't hang up. We're going to keep up with this conversation. Plus, attorney Andre Grant and Patricia Holmes will be in the building as well.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON.
Think about this, y'all. She put him back as the judicial chair. Black people was asking for that slot. They was like, no. Do you understand? They didn't even want to let black people be judges. We had to create sub-circuits. They had to team up with the Republicans. The same people have put in all the judges for the last 50 years. How do you think people got locked up? Who do you think was picking all these people? And so when you know the person that's filling up the jails, the judges are filling up the jails, and you put the person back that's putting them back because they have no regard for us, I'm not tripping on Ed Burke. I'm tripping on us. The mayor gave him the bank account. She gave him the judges to keep locking us up. She wanted to tell she emptied the jail, but she gave the guy the key to put him back in. Then be the first one to team up, want to run a commercial, be the first one to team up against some black folks. And I'm telling you, she's going to cause damage to other people. When you think about this. So, here goes my thing. Y'all still, they still letting the Burke guys walk around like they ain't part of the problem. Like, y'all, we can't declare war without a team. Bro, you will declare war and get shot in the back by the people that's supposed to be we going to war for. Right. Burke didn't need to go nowhere. From where he controlled everything. Dog, the police. You know how Burke had a foul? Because he controlled the police. What did the police have? The vice department. So what do they do? Catch you at your worst time. And what do they do? Take a picture. So when you don't do what he wants you to do, he caught you with your picture. So you're going to shut up. Y'all don't want to understand how this really works. Y'all don't really want to understand how this works. Brother Muhammad, that's probably not the way to approach it, and I don't even know what brother you talking about. So that's fine. Join the conversation however you want to do it. But again, that then is ultimately my premise on people talking about going to war, right? So right now I illuminate more issues on a daily basis. My premise is not to again, you have no. It's like. People have this expectation that I'm just supposed to show up and do stuff when you haven't extended an invitation or even said something, right? So your approach to brotherhood is, fuck you, Maze? Really? Okay. Again, that's exactly how they keep shooting and killing us, because so I could talk about 3 million issues a week that nobody else in the city would talk about at this platform. And because you ain't tell me nothing about your issue, fuck you, Maze? Yeah. Got it. That is essentially why I do not go down the activist role. Because what essentially happens is people pick their issue and then decide if you're not doing their issue, then fuck you. Right? That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. It's like there was a collective movement of people that have been pushing for years and years and years and years. I went through the table turning over phase. I went through the cursing people out phase. I went through the we gonna keep on having these wars with people and having no victories phase. And then I figured, how do we get more people in play that can help more people? So when you say fuck you, but there's probably, I'm not even gonna go there. What I'm gonna say is that what we try to do is connect people to resources. I'm not shutting down work sites. That's not my thing. I'm not going to, and I feel like we live, our activist community is from the rap beef community. So if you don't do what they say you're supposed to do, then their thing is to come tear your shit up and fuck you and fuck what you talking about, and you ain't shit. I fight for economic opportunities to make sure that when our brothers return, that they don't have to just be corralled and used as a battering ram to make other people money. What I try to do is create opportunities and doors for people to walk through, that they will open more doors for more people. Yeah, but that whole fuck you thing, it's like you don't even know me like that, right? You ain't never even had a real conversation with me to even say that. That's pretty crazy, bro. Especially if you're on Black Unity, you call and you say, hey, brother, can we talk? So, when y'all it's like I go through these phases because it's like the premise becomes fuck Maze instead of the people that's really fucking you. I'm at WVON talking about the issues that we import, that white folks that allow people to go in the doors and try and fix the situation. Activists fight black people more than they fight white people. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. And you know what, y'all? I'm feeling some kind of way. And here, as we talk about building Black unity, as we talk about, you know what? I'm not exactly sure how we move forward, but I think it has to be moving forward together. It seems like as we have these conversations and as white folks continue to do us in, we wind up figuring out a way to attack each other out of the process instead of recognizing who the real enemy is, right? And so I think back to Black Friday. And I think about when we first saw the tape and we all went out there and we got down together. And there was supposed to be Black unity. But you know what happened? It was too many cameras. It was too many people getting too many props. And then everybody wanted to be a star. Look, y'all. We got a real issue that's happening right now today. Right now. And quite frankly, all eyes should be focused on what's happening at 26 in California today. If you looking to find a beef today, you need to find a beef with the police, the powers that be, the people that have put you in the situation. Because can I tell you, from the microphone at WVON, all Maze Jackson can do is talk about the issues. You mad at somebody? Be mad at the person that put you there. Be mad at the person that put you there. I'm going to take the phone call because y'all done started me up this morning. Brother Travis, you on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning, Brother Maze.
Good morning.
Great show, great topic. I would like to talk about taxes, but I can't. I sat there and watched, and I saw that verdict come in. And Berg has been a thorn in our community for 50-some damn years. And all of those aldermen sat down there, watched this man rip off taxes, watched this man put racist judges in position, and didn't say a word. So from the Black Caucus in Springfield to the Black Caucus in Chicago, they all need to go. Good day.
Thank you, Brother Travis. I'm going to tell y'all what Ed Burke meant to the criminal justice system, what he meant to the judicial and the police force was not a secret. Everybody knew you could not be a judge if you did not go to Ed Burke. And that was his key to power. I'm not tripping on him. I'm tripping on the fact that when we get the opportunity to put ourselves in control of a system that has oppressed us, you know what we do? We go after the lowest hanging fruit. So we'll go attack the black dude, but we won't go after the guy that's putting it all together. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Think about $500 million in police settlements and you reappoint the guy. Come on, man. Don't play me. Let's go to William. You on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning, Mays. I want to tell you, I'm listening to you on my iHeart Radio app from Nesbitt, Mississippi, which is considered the Memphis metro area. But anyway, this verdict is a total insult to black men, specifically black men. You know, the judge, I guess the judge that gave this verdict was appointed by Burke. All of them need to be out. And Burke should be taken off the Supreme Court also.
Oh?
I mean, well, what is it going to take for us to see what's going on? Or do something, not see, but do something about it?
I'm with you on that. You know what I was thinking? We should look at all of his judicial appointments. Right now, like, where's the party? Where's the chairman of the Democratic Party? Show some leadership. You know how they always be like, oh, everything you did was wrong, be a pox upon you. Is she asking for any of those judges to be back? Leave the black ones alone. But if you was appointed as a O'Malley or O'Shea or whatever, we need to check your record. We do. Jacques, you on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning.
Can we talk?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Mr. Jackson, you know what happened in Chicago yesterday? That was a bench trial, and it's always been the process. A bench trial has always been the process for people to get an acquittal who are connected to the machine, who can pay the judges off, who are on the list of judges that will accept the bribe in order to get an acquittal or a not guilty verdict in a case. Alderman Ed Burke was investigated during an investigation started by Robert Cooley as an informant on the circuit courts of Illinois. And Alderman Burke was one of the bag men who went to get a case fixed from Alderman Fred Rhodey, Pat Marcy, and all of them sitting over in Counselor's Row at that table that they had there. They had a table reserved there, and that's all they did all day was fix court cases.
Dang, Jack, let me tell y'all what. I bet you if you went down the list of every judge that is a Cook County elected judge and you cross-referenced the list of how many of them contributed to Ed Burke or campaigns of his, right? I bet you start asking how much of those how many of those judicial positions have been paid for, right? And at what cost? I would be interested to see how many bench trials occurred by Ed Burke appointed judges that ended in the acquittal. That ended in the acquittal of the murdering officer. I would go back and look at Rakia Boyd, look at Dante Servin, look at all of those cases where the police and trace their roots. Trace back to whence they've come. Let's go to the phone lines. Philip, you're on the Talk Chicago 1690.
Hey, what's up, Maze? No line, no long time, no talk to.
What's up, man?
You know, when they accidentally convicted the police officer, right? You know, it was no chance that they was going to convict them cats in a bench trial. You know, going back to the 70s, they always said if you wanted to beat a case and you was hooked up, get you a good lawyer and a bench trial for supposedly a law judge. That was their code word for it, right? But I would be surprised if you saw them really waste this policeman in his sentencing today. I think a lot of people going to be real disappointed in how they sentence.
Wait a minute. Wait. Is this Phil?
Yeah, this me, bro.
What's up, man? Phil? Dang, brother. You know what? Todd, Phil, hold on. Todd, when you get through, don't let Sonya save this call. Get his cell phone number because I want to talk to Phil. Phil, hey, man, I ain't talked to you in so long. Hey, y'all. That's real talk going on right there. Phil, you hold on, brother. We're going to talk to you in a minute. Sonya, put that one on hold. Get the phone number for me. Let's go to Charles. Charles, you're going to Talk Chicago 1690.
Yeah, how you doing, Maze?
All right.
I feel like you do, Maze. I am angry and saddened by this verdict. But there's no time to get involved in being angry and sad. It's time. It is time out for this outrage and anger. And we have to turn that into action. there's an election coming up, the mayor's race. And
Right.
we have an option, and that's this race. Mark Wallace is 10 by 10. This is the time when we can get behind Mr. Wallace, his 10 by 10, and change things in the next election. So that is my comment.
Thank you, my brother. I'm gonna tell you. What is Oh Lord, here come. Oh, we at 50,000 feet, y'all. It is the Air Marshal, Big Otis Wilson. Big O. Big O. Big O.
Good morning.
Man, Big O. First of all, I always wonder, how do you get all the way up here? Do you jump up or fly up here?
I just glide.
You just glide up. Well, look, Big O.
My stride and dip in my head.
Big O, when we come back, man,
Yeah.
you saw what happened, man. We got a lot to talk about. Plus, did I see Attorney Andre Grant in the building too? Plus, Patricia Brown-Holmes will be on the phone as well. It's getting ready to go down, y'all. Let's get this conversation started. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up.
Man, I'm feeling good. Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm pissed off about this. It's a mixed bag. Kerry won her election as president of the MWRD, so that's a great thing. This thing, though, I don't know what we doing. Where we going with this?
Hey, Jay.
What's up?
Boy, you in rare form this morning, ain't you?
How you feeling, my brother?
God got his hand on me.
All right.
Good to see you.
Great Otis Wilson. How are you?
Attorney Andre Grant. It's a pleasure, my brother. It's my honor, man. It's my honor.
So y'all too.
I want to buy a book.
Oh, you know what? I did not bring a book.
Man, I want to buy a book.
If I knew you was gonna be here,
I want to buy a book.
You want to get the sign?
Brother, I want a book. And I still want to know why they ain't getting Mahomes or Deshaun Watson as opposed to this cat we got.
Oh, well, there's a whole lot of fights we got to fight.
It all go to the same thing, my brother.
You in red form this morning.
Hey, man, they tested me this morning, man. They tested my resolve.
You think anything different, though? Because if they would have reversed that, you would pour so much light on what the system
But that's
is
the
all
whole
about.
point. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
So I think that one of the things that I feel like I talk about all the time is when I'm on WVON, I feel like I'm in Wakanda. And sometimes I get Wakanda carried away, right? Which is looking at things from the perspective of people from WVON as compared to looking at them through the perspective of the party, which I know. Right? And so, like, when T.O. wears his dashiki on TV and run for governor, and then you get all, man, it's Wakanda, and you feel it, but then you like, but the math says, right? So sometimes here you get emotional, and I have to come down from the emotional black utopic experience. Right. And now it's like if I wouldn't have been on WVON, I would have been like, he getting off. I think being on VON gives you hope that it could change, but when it goes down, you know what it is.
Yeah, I think one thing at a time. If you can move Bird out, at least stop some of it.
Well, I think Burke created what I call the closed murder loop, right? Because most murder cases never made it to court. He could get it from the law department to Burke. The police and everybody was all taken care of in that process. The trial attorneys made their money because they settled. They ain't have to spend no time in court. They get whatever they percentage of it is. And Burke and the police are protected. Then Burke can tell the police, go take pictures of everybody when they coming out their girlfriend house or when they coming out their boyfriend house, and then you got a file. And anytime somebody want to touch you, then Burke pull out the right.
But this is a good old boy system, though. I mean, it's been that way, and it's gonna always be that way until you have that shift.
Big O.
In power.
Bolingbrook Buccaneers wants to know what would it take to get you to come out and do it. We can talk about it off, but they want you to come out and do a motivational something for their players.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we'll holler at it.
Okay, cool.
What's that, a high school squad?
Nah, it's the developmental squad in Bolingbrook. It's like the Pop Warner. It's Pop Warner. Okay. It's like, or I don't know if it's Pop Warner. There's two of them. But the thing was, there was two leagues. It was the Trojans, and then this Buccaneers league came. The Trojans was the league that was always there, but it was the traditional foot, right. Then the Buccaneers came because Bolingbrook started getting a lot of props on football and black players, and like Trojans would channel you. The Buccaneers was like, man, we got all these athletes, we about to let them play ball, right? So they come, so the brothers have built the league up, and now all the stars are leaving Trojans and going to Buccaneers, but the establishment is still is cock blocking them on everything, because they don't want them to, like, the fact is, if you trying to go to, all the people that's going to the league or going to college went through Buccaneers. Trojans is like the fall off.
I need to be talking to them.
Setting
up my camp.
That's pipeline.
McHenry County out there got that set up.
Pipeline.
Set up our stuff. Yeah.
Who you doing? What you doing with Jack Franks?
What's that?
In McHenry?
No, Otis Wilson.
Look, Big O say I'm Otis Wilson around this one.
I walked up there and did a thing last summer. And now I got the end to about 22 coaches.
Hey, man, you got to talk to Kerry, man. You got to get you a football field somewhere around here.
You gonna coach, man? No.
Oh, Big O running the program. Man, Big O.
I'm talking about owning the team. I heard that. Ooh, I never found. Couldn't make it. Playing by the rules.
Dre, you got to move in, son. Hey, Freddy Krueger, go troll somewhere else, dog. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and this is the WVON Morning Show. Now, y'all heard me before I went to break. The big Air Marshal Otis Wilson is in the building. I don't know how when we at 50,000 feet, I always get that knock on the door. It's like you open the door, everybody's sucking, flying around the airport, luggage flying, papers. But you know what? You brought somebody with you today.
Yeah.
You got power attorney Andre Grant in the building. And you know what? Andre, as well as Otis, I'm calling this the day after the day of. The day after what I believed, and I'm going to tell you, I still maintain that yesterday's trial was, in my estimation, the more important of the two trials that were occurring. See, Jason Van Dyke is a one-off. You can make if Jason Van Dyke gets convicted and he goes away for 50 years today, that's a one-off. I want him to get his. But in my estimation, the real trial was the system of murder that has been protected for so long. And I felt like when they got off, I promise you, if they got off and they was going back on the going back into the district, to the precinct, it was gonna be some black people getting their heads kicked in. They was looking like, oh, give me a room. You remember the picture with the brothers hunting? Mm-hmm. And they had the brothers with the, we was gonna see a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. If you listen to how they responded, you know what, Sonia, give me the lawyer after the case went down. Because if you listen to how they responded, they was like, it is our job to kill Negroes around here. How dare you ask us a question? You ready? Give it to me.
She heard every word of the testimony in this trial, and she concluded, as we did a year before, that there never was a case here. Despite all of the interest and all you have, there never, ever was a case.
That was in your eye, Negroes. Yeah, we killed them, and we lied about it. What you gonna do? Attorney Grant, was there a case, sir?
Mays, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be with you as always.
Thank you.
To be with the WVON family. And it's a pleasure to sit with the great Otis Wilson.
And I'm not going to be one of the 1,000 people that told you, but I watched them 85 Bands, brother. I mean, you my hero. I was hoping to sign a book this morning, but your contributions to our people. We don't get that done. Yeah, I was hoping to get a book this morning, but brother, it's a pleasure to meet you again and to be able to sit on this panel with you this morning.
Yes.
Mays, the question was, there never was a case. I kind of agree with that lawyer, and I'm tell you why. I knew when they first charged these officers that these officers wasn't going to be convicted. I said it from day one. And one of the reasons that they weren't going to be convicted is because this is a system that is designed to protect itself. There's an incestuous relationship between the police, the state's attorneys, and the courts. These are like, if you can imagine a family all living in the same household. These are first cousins and aunties and uncles. The police officers are the first line of law enforcement, and they work intimately with the state's attorney's office. A lot of state's attorneys are former police officers. A lot of judges, most of the judges at 26 in California are former state's attorneys. When Jason Van Dyke was convicted, as far as the system is concerned, you've already got your pound of flesh. And the system is designed to protect police officers. When they lie, they don't get charged with perjury. When they are involved in misconduct, falsifying documents, these things are relatively unheard of when it comes to discipline. And when we talk about the code of silence, we're not just talking about some random philosophy. We're talking about police officers who understand innately and as well in conversation. You don't tell on other cops. You don't tell other cops wrongdoings. You don't tell on other cops when you know they're lying or give you a false narrative. You just don't do it. The challenge that the prosecution and with the 3 police officers were facing is that they had to prove this conspiracy thing. And that conspiracy starts with an agreement. There must be an agreement. Now, agreement can be implicit, or you can find agreement through circumstantial evidence.
Man, why do I feel like I'm talking to Salim, who I killed right now?
It's just the truth.
Yeah.
Now, this judge, Judge Stevenson, was not going to find these 3 police officers guilty. And one more thing, Mace.
Go ahead.
Every criminal defense lawyer knows the first thing you do when your case is assigned in the 26th of California, you have to ask the question, who is the judge? That's the first question. And the judge...
Now, why do you ask that question?
You ask that question because you want to know, is this judge pro-defense or pro-police officers? And judges have a history. Will they be fair? So as a criminal defense lawyer, when I walk into a courtroom, is this judge going to give me a fair shot, or does this judge have a history of being pro-state? When those lawyers, and keep in mind, these weren't no bum lawyers. Tom Breen is one of the premier deans of the criminal defense bar in Chicago. This is a bad boy. This is a very talented, gifted lawyer. This is like a white Johnny Cochran. These weren't no throwaway lawyers. The other one, Jim McKay. Jim McKay was trial partners of Judge Stevenson. So they knew when they pulled the lot and Judge Stevenson was the judge, oh, this is not guilty. This is not
wait. The defense was a partner of? Wait.
Jim McKay is a former trial partner of Judge Stevenson. They both were, Judge Stevenson's made her bones as a prosecutor in the state's attorney's office. So did Jim McKay. They've tried cases together. They were in the same office. Now, I heard that he was her supervisor. I don't know that to be a fact, but I do know for a fact that they were trial partners.
Let me stop you right there. So remember I told y'all about that closed network, right? And then you heard my man bring in the state's attorney. You ever wonder why Ed Burke was so intimately involved with Anita Alvarez? And do you wonder why he had to get close to Tony Preckwinkle? Y'all don't want to hear me when I tell y'all how this worked. So I'm going to let Andre keep on telling y'all, and I'm going to break it down. Let's talk Chicago. 1690, we'll be back after traffic, news, and the weather.
Yeah, they trial partners, man. They trial cases together.
That's the story right there.
That's like me walking in the courtroom and Lou the lawyer, Lou the judge.
You're picking the jury.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't pick people.
But you ain't even get the jury. They didn't have a jury. It was just a bench. So it's like, so they walked in the court like this.
That's my girl.
They walked in the court like this. Don't you say nothing. Don't you say nothing. You know me. I don't know you. And then, see how they...
What makes everybody new? They got pictures of them together trying cases for years. They were partners. So once she could have recused herself.
No, she wasn't recusing herself because she needed to fix the damn case. You better not recuse yourself.
See, that's the other thing. Yeah, you ain't gonna get blessed. Now she about to get blessed.
Oh, she about to,
she about to get blessed.
She is about to get blessed. Well, here's the challenge though. Does she get her blessing now that Ed Burke ain't the judge? Because now she got to go back and she's got to either run because she's either got to get reappointed.
She's not gonna run.
So then let me tell you how they're gonna fix her. If she ain't gonna run, they're gonna appoint her to another vacancy. Right? They'll appoint her to another vacancy until you all forget so she doesn't lose. But let me tell you who's gonna be in control of that. For her to get another appointment to another vacancy, you know who has to agree like that? The Judicial Committee at the Cook County Democratic Party.
She was appointed by the retention judges.
Who you think runs the retention judges?
Yeah, I'm just telling you. So you go around, and no black judges was appointed by this last round. In 2018, not one black judge was selected to be on the bench to sit in one of these vacancies.
And you know why that was too?
Of course I know.
You know why that was? Because remember when we saved Tim Evans and he did it by just a sliver? They not finna give him no more numbers. They still trying to get that. And y'all don't even want it. Y'all, you know what? See, I be trying to tell. I got brothers try. Hold on, let me do this one more time. You can't go to war without the knowledge that you have of your enemy to know what battle you fighting. The big guy ain't always the one you need to be going after, just for the record. Just for the record. Go ahead, fellas. Y'all got the camera.
But let me ask you this, though. Who is Burt going to try to figure out on his case?
What do you mean?
Because all the stuff that he got going down that he's facing, knowing who he is and what he's done in Chicago, I'm quite sure people are talking to people right now trying to figure this thing out.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Is he really going to go down?
Well, that I don't know.
Or are they going to slide him on out?
Well, that I don't know. That's a good question. Historically, Burke has been Teflon.
Right.
You know, it's been, they could have did this 30 years ago.
Don't mess with him. Right?
Yeah, exactly. They could have did this 30 years ago.
So why are they messing with him now?
That I'm not sure, but the evidence, it's my understanding they got like 10,000 hours of telephone conversation, which is 10,000 hours.
So they've been doing that for years.
So they got a lot of stuff on Burke this time. So we'll see what they do. He's probably going to cut a deal. He's probably have to cut a deal. May keep him out of penitentiary. It's my understanding that he has some health issues. That may keep him out as well. Or, you do what you do in Cook County, which is
because his wife's a judge, isn't she?
Oh, she's on the Illinois Supreme Court.
Yes, so they know too many people.
They know a lot of people.
And he's been in the ministry in that wheel that
they know a lot of people.
They grease a lot of people.
Yeah, and it must be whatever the feds got. It's powerful, man.
Yeah, they don't come out unless they got something.
Oh no. They've been watching for years. So, and they raided all of his officers.
Yeah, they just come in and see if you're gonna trip yourself up.
Exactly.
They know what they're looking for. Yeah, it's just this system, boy. It's embedded. I mean,
man, it is, and it's like what it is. Can I get y'all an update? Cause I do. Y'all know I be getting tired of the. So basically, what happens is every year, or every other year, COINTELPRO finds somebody new who doesn't really know me or really hasn't have a very deep understanding of my background or how far I go back. A lot of people think that Maze Jackson started with social media or started with WVON if you don't know very much about me. But if you check my resume and you check my history, it goes in Chicago, it goes all the way back to 1996 when I launched the Sprite program. And even back then, I was making black people money, right? My fight ain't never been the fight of, oh my God, how do I get social services? So when you talk about who brought corporate dollars to black people, when you talk about who has started more black businesses, when you talk about who has brought supplier diversity with every company that I've come to, when you talk about who has got the most political mentees in position at the highest levels, that you don't even be knowing that you talking to my people when you talking to them. make sure that before you let COINTELPRO put the cables on you, that you get a real history lesson, right? You get the real history lesson, because my history goes way back, and 99.9% of the people that can tell you or want to amp you up owe me money. 99% of the people that can tell you a bad story can also tell you about the time I paid for them when they had a dream or a vision and they came to me because they didn't know who to do it with. So before you let COINTELPRO put the cables on you, please make sure you check the resume.
I met Mays, the young entrepreneur, in 1996, 95, in that Sprite truck in the hood on the west side and the south side, the young mogul. I used to call him Little Puffy.
Think about this. When the guys came home from jail, let's just be clear. In 2000, when the guys came home and they didn't have a place to work and nobody had work for them, you know where they worked?
On that Sprite truck.
On the Sprite truck. When nobody would give ex-offenders a chance to work in corporate America at $15 an hour. Look, before it was a fight for 15. Don't play me.
Passing out Sprite, not drugs.
Passing out, right. Passing out Sprite, not drugs. But you wanna let COINTEL put some, hey man, check your resume, man. Don't be disrespectful. If you're trying to build, brother.
Well, Otis, he got a good playlist though.
And COINTELPRO, one of the main people, took some money. I got the text. So make sure, because I keep a record. I keep a record. I got every text.
Somebody pissed him off.
You want to see him? Mays, can I get some money? Could you help me? Man, you just give me this. Don't. You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. You know what? And I'm sitting in here with Big Otis Wilson, as well as power attorney Andre Graham. We are talking about the blue code of silence. What's up, Big O?
You okay over there, man?
Yeah, you know what, Big O?
Somebody got you passionate this morning.
Big O. Well, first of all, this blue code of silence has really got me passionate. But the other thing that has got me passionate is, even as we talking about trying to figure our way through this, there are black people looking to detract. They are trying to, they want to figure out this is an opportunity to point at this dude. This black dude, you didn't do what I said because I was, and it's like, brother, we all got pieces and places. And right now, we need black folks trying to figure out a way to get together, and everybody's playing a role. But I feel like, once again, here come the cameras. So it's the cameras, and so everybody got a jockey for position, because they gonna be the new spokesperson. Remember, I'm gonna tell you, Laquan McDonald created a whole wave of social celebrities. Social celebrities. And those people rode that death all the way up to right now. And now what's happening is, and it displaced some of the old social entrepreneurs. Well, now they trying to figure out a way, because all the cameras coming back. I don't want no camera time. I'm not even thinking about the camera time. I'm thinking about, how do black people start to turn themselves internally? But before we go further, let me do this. Because this sister took on the battle of our lifetime. Real talk. I told you, I believe that the trial that happened yesterday, that culminated yesterday, was the trial of the century, because the blue code of silence was put on trial. Living in Wakanda, which I call the VON land, I like to believe that there is hope. After yesterday, I'm not sure if there really is any hope for black people getting justice out of the criminal justice system. Here to help shed some light on what happened yesterday is attorney Patricia Brown-Holmes. Did I get that right? Brown-Holmes. Thank you, Miss Attorney. Welcome to the WVON Morning Show.
serious allergy attack yesterday, and it's kind of carrying over. So I apologize for the scratchy voice.
Well, let me tell you what. You probably should have a scratchy voice because you went to battle against. I don't want to get you in trouble, but really the white supremacy in its purest form. Talk to me about what happened yesterday when the Blue Code of Silence went on trial and was found not guilty.
Well, that's a loaded question, kind of difficult, because I was in the role of prosecutor, which is a different branch of government than the judiciary. And so, there are rules of professional responsibility that preclude me from discussing, the results in the way that you're asking the question. But what I can say is this. We believed in our case. We investigated. The grand jury did a fabulous job of asking questions, looking at the information, trying to understand what happened. We were extremely careful. We brought the best case we thought we could bring with the evidence that we had. They were allowed by our Constitution to choose a bench trial, and they did. We respect the judge's ruling, but of course, we disagree with the ruling because we wouldn't have brought the case if we didn't, believe in our case. But what I think has happened is we've brought attention to the issues. And I think that's better than nothing.
Attorney Grant.
Judge, good morning. It's Andre Grant.
Good morning, Andre Grant. How are you? Haven't talked to you in a while.
It's been a while. I'm better than good. Thank you. Judge, can you talk about what a conspiracy is and the challenges of proving a conspiracy, particularly the agreement part?
Yeah, so, that's an excellent question. It is extremely difficult to prove a conspiracy because, it is what it is, right? It is a secret agreement between two or more parties to do or accomplish an illegal goal. And typically the only way that you can prove a conspiracy is to have one of the co-conspirators to slip or to tell on the group. Another way you can do it is to put together circumstantial evidence that shows that there was an agreement. And that's not an easy thing to do because when you use the word agreement, people want a contract. But I don't know 2 or 3 criminals who sit down and say, all right, let's write this down, right? It's usually a wink and a nod and a look, a point. It's me coming to you and saying, hey, look, if you do this, I'll do that. And you just do it. Nobody knows we did that unless I tell or you tell. So it's a hard thing to prove, and you've got to piece it together like a puzzle.
Hence, the Blue Code of Silence. Let me ask, Your Honor, what do I tell the young millennials? What do I tell my kids who watched the tape, who saw the murder, who saw everything that happened right in front of their eyes? How do I address the people who have called me and said, man, I've been in so many times when the police have put a gun on me or done something and I know I didn't do it? What do we do? Because I feel like we've protested, we've marched, we got people turning over tables. What do we do now?
That's excellent. So, vigilance. There is acquiescence to the treatment, and then there is a vigilance that says, you know what? Let me go get a lawyer. Let me find an Andre Grant. Let me find someone who is going to assist me. You do not have the right to resist an arrest, even if that arrest is unlawful. But you do have the right afterwards to pursue legal remedies if you believe you have them.
But Your Honor, let me jump in right there, because again, you are the best from what I hear.
Oh, you see?
Right? And you and your team is the best. And if the best can't get me justice, What do I do? Because like for real, when I heard you was on the case, I was like, oh, that's it. Wrap them up, lock them up, cook them. I was sending lipstick packages and everything to the jail. Help me understand, if you can't do it, what hope do we have?
Well, it's our judicial system is the system that it is, right? Defendants have a right to have a bench trial, and they have a right to have a trial by jury. That's our system, and we have to work within it. I think it is incumbent upon us to just keep trying. If you look way back as far as Martin Luther King, he got beat up, he got, hosed down.
And we still ain't overcame.
What we're cracking and we're getting there is slow, but we're getting there, and we just can't stop trying. That's the point. We can't stop trying as a country, as a people, as a nation. We have to keep trying, because at some point, there will be equality.
Either one.
And in addition to that, the criminal justice system is not an exact science. 2 + 2 don't necessarily equal 4.
We know that.
In the criminal justice system.
We know that 16 shots don't equal death.
And sometimes justice results in an innocent person. No, that's not never justice. If an innocent person goes to jail, but sometimes a guilty person goes free. So this is a very, very, as the judge pointed out, vigilance. This is a long process. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And the truth is, the case that she put on, there are more people right now at 26 in California who are being prosecuted based on false arrests, false police report, false warrants. This is more what the judge did. This is more of what's going on in the 26 in California than the shootings that we saw that took place. The falsification and the lying and the perjury, that's going on right now at 26 in California. That's the big fight.
So, look, let me tell you what. Your Honor, I want to tell you, first of all, thank you for taking on this. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Hi. Good morning. This is Otis Wilson over here, and my question to you is this. How did this affect the Van Dyke trial?
These are two separate cases, right? So the Van Dyke case was tried by a jury. They put on their evidence. We had our case. It was a bench trial. We put on our evidence. I was on the other side of the New Jersey versus Garrity. We had to build a wall, and I'll let Attorney Grant talk to you about that. But in essence, there were statements that were out there that were compelled. Think of it in terms of somebody had to give up their Miranda rights in order to speak about the case. And those statements were not available to me. I could not use them. It would have been unconstitutional for me to use those statements or any derivative of those statements. So I had to create a situation where the grand jury investigated without all of the complete information that the world or the nation or the city may have known. I had to, sort of put on blinders, not listen, not hear, not read anything until it had been filtered through the Garrity process.
See, man, it just seems like it's just real.
That's why it was that's why it was an unprecedented prosecution. It's a hard thing to do. It is a very hard thing to do. But back to your issue of, the fairness of the process. It's a very fair process. Better to let a guilty man go free than to put an innocent man in jail. That has always been my motto, and that's not a reflection on these guys. What it is a reflection on the system. And as I think it was Andre Grant who just said, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you have to take it little by little, but you also have to accept when the system is operating and hope that it operates fairly for everyone.
So, Your Honor, I'm going to tell you, I agree a lot of times with that whole better than that a guilty man go free. But it seems like for us, the option is the black man gets killed, right? And so he doesn't have the option to go free or to be guilty. But I just want to thank you for what you did and taking on a case. And it really ticks me off that they put the sister on the hard case.
A case that she didn't have to take.
Right, but I'm saying they put the sister. Look, we running around here championing a white guy from Lake County. He won, and I'm mad they put the sister on the. Look. You see, that go to racism. It's all racial. Look, that is Judge Patricia Brown-Holmes. She is the managing partner at Riley, Safer and Holmes. Look, y'all, if you're going to get an attorney, if you can't get Andre Grant, please make sure you reach out for her. It's the Talk of Chicago. We'll be back after traffic and the weather.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson.
Huh? Right. Shoot, I can't even afford Andre's assistance. Huh? Right.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, like you said, it's hard to crack this system that they've had for years and years and years. They got family upon. It's almost like.
So should the Cook County
city, how everybody gave cousins and uncles and friends jobs. Sound like they did the same thing over there.
I think the Cook County Democratic Party should review all appointments that were made by all judicial appointments that were made by Ed Burke. Every judge.
You know they ain't gonna do that.
Let's put it in the universe. Like, we know they ain't gonna do it, but imagine right now. But I'm saying that
power concedes nothing without a demand.
How about this? How about the Cook County Democratic Party, who slated all those judges? Man, that is run by Tony Preckwinkle, say we'd like to sit down and have a review of all the. We want to go through and look at what was the process that allowed a judge to be appointed, right? So that if he just picked them out the blue, then when the appointments come around, because when we run this next election, it's going to be vacancies, they can't get reappointed.
I just sent you the wrong thing.
You see all these judges. I mean, come voting time. I mean, it's like about 9 days. Half of them you don't even know.
You got to vote no to everything this time. Like, we got to just only.
I'm looking to see if any of them black, something that you hear of that might.
You got to get the What's in for the Black People Voters guy. We do a black judges list. Okay. My man.
2 years ago, and I kept that. I got that on my screenshot.
That's my man.
Yes, I got that. But it's like,
this afternoon.
You can't win for losing.
You can't. And the whole thing is to make it confusing, so you wind up voting for the people who hate you.
And half of them they know ain't gonna vote.
Yep.
So only really they have to deal with is a portion of them.
I don't think can add anything. Yeah.
Cool. No, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when are they gonna start figuring out how many years this boy gonna get? When it starts what?
Today.
I know today, but what time he has to be in court?
10 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the people are arriving there now.
I'm not.
That's gonna be interesting.
Man.
What? Did you see what Samantha says on there?
Mm-mm. Oh, I feel like that. He can't get He has a non-probationable offense, though.
Well, the second-degree murder is probationable. The aggravated battery is not.
See, look at that. That's all he got.
But he's not. He ain't gonna get no probation.
He don't get. He got what you think he gonna get? Like 6 years.
Oh hell no,
He going to prison, but he going to. He going for like, but they ain't gonna let him go crazy.
I would think it would be anywhere from 6 to 12.
And so he get out.
Yeah, 6 to 12.
See, look at Todd over here, room.
You watch. You see what happened yesterday. Watch.
Spoke yesterday about how his family.
Oh yeah.
I said, what about all these black families?
Get these. Yeah, tell. She got a family quote. Yeah. Come on, y'all. We back. See. Yeah. Let's see. You will know. You will know. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is the Big Air Marshal, Big Otis Wilson. Also sitting in with me is the attorney, the criminal defense attorney of the century. You know what? He is walking in the shoes of greatness. You know what? From Lou Meyer to Judge Eugene Pincham to Johnny Cochran.
I'm blessed.
Let me tell you, this is my man, attorney Andre Grant. Andre, you still a hip hop attorney too? You still repping artists and stuff?
Absolutely. I got a young artist by the name of Jamal Abiade. He hot to death, and he's also my firstborn.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look, see, this is hip hop all grown up, man. You know, let me tell you. You know what? Who used to tell me get out of politics all the time? Dre. Jay be like, Maze, you wasting yourself on politics, man. Said you gotta go be some hip hop mogul, something. I thought I was gonna be the next Jay-Z, Damon Dash, Puff Daddy. You know what? You know what I think that I have found my space. I'll be honest with you. There is nothing that I enjoy more than being here with my extended family, the WVON family. It seems like, guys, it was 3 years ago. That 3 years seems like it flew by, that we were all on Michigan Avenue. We had seen the tape. We went to Michigan Avenue. We shut down Michigan Avenue. No violence, but millions of dollars impacting the state, not impacting Christmas, the Christmas holiday. And we had, I'm going to tell you guys, there was a moment when I felt like right after Black Friday, there could be black unity. Like everybody was kind of in harmony, and then it started happening. The TV cameras came. The people started offering money to this guy and that guy. They started saying, well, how can I compromise this guy? A lot of social media celebrities were created. A whole bunch of new political experts were created. People made names for themselves and put themselves in the activist pantheon. But I look back and I say, where are we now? Right? Because I think that we oftentimes enjoy the emotional component of it, but we really don't talk about economics. Right? We talk about, man, we gonna get us a bag, but we don't talk about sustained. We don't build sustained programs. We go in, we kick up the door. We like the emotional piece of it, but the work that it takes to sustain and continue to grow, I don't see it. Guys, I am this murder. You know what? We went a little long. So when we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit about what are our next steps? What do we do? How do we deal with this? How do we start holding? Look, I keep asking about accountability, but what is that and how do we exercise it? It's Talk Chicago 1690. We got to go to traffic and weather in the news, but when we come back, Big O, Andre, I'm looking for y'all for some solutions because I ain't marching no more. I'm through. All right, we'll talk about it when we come back. Talk Chicago 1690.
Well, I'll keep on beating my drum, and I'm going to say this. From my seat where I sit, we've been beaten down for so long that, number one, that beat down deters a lot of people. When incidents happen, when things happen, we get emotional and we're ready to fight. But it's hard to fight when you got a system that has a steel wall and you got a gun. And all that the bullet does is deflect off that wall, and you got to find some way to crack that wall to bring it down. And we as people, like you throw that other stuff, that other John in there. They say, okay, we can't get them this way because we can't outright lynch them no more. We can't, do them drive-by. So we pay them off. We pit them against one another.
Right.
But what they don't understand is the ultimate thing. When you hit white folks in their pocket, they start hollering.
Well, you got that right.
They start hollering. Man, they can't stand that.
No money.
Black folks more interested in.
Don't let them lose no money.
Black folks are more interested, in my estimation, in Chicago and being at war with each other and whooping each other than they are whooping a white guy. You know what? Everybody that I see flipping, fighting, snapping off, it's in opposition to somebody else. because it's a race to be the first person to find. Like, we keep going through the same cycles. We got the groups that come in, kick the door open, say, put my guys on, but we still ain't built a construction company, right? So, yeah, we gonna go get more people, more jobs. So the same cycle that was happening in the 90s keeps repeating itself. There's a group of activists that say, man, we ain't got a cut. We ain't getting in. So they go and they start kicking doors in and start going to the construction sites, and then they shake up and scare the on-site manager. The on-site manager gives them 3 jobs, 4 jobs. They move on to the next site, right? Now, we've been doing that since Eddie Reed. No shade. Eddie Reed and Lou Palmer and all of those guys. Where is the black construction company that now you open the door for and you start pumping people in? No, because that would require work. What happens is it's profitable to kick down work sites, right? Because they be like, I'd rather give you some money and give you these 3 jobs and get out my way and let me build the project than to say, let me help you build a company that could really go get 20% of this work and do the work. Most people don't want, what I have found, and I can show it to you, I can document it to you. Every time I've been on a campaign, all of the same people that we call activists, whatever, the first thing they do is send me a text talking about, I can get you the gangs, I can get you the streets, I can get you this, but you got to pay me this, right? And these are the same people that be at the front of every protest, right? And you see the same names, and they tricked a whole bunch of people, so then they got to trick a new set of people every year to go up and say, man, brother, I could bring you to this table and I can help you get the money. They go in the front door, they get the dough, and go out, and then ain't no more protests, and the work sites still go up. Show me one project that got stopped. Show me one. For everybody that tells you they done kicked in the doors and they holding people accountable, there's not one building that hasn't gone up. And there's not one. Show me the black contractor that went up with the building. Show me the wealth that has grown from all of the protesting we've done.
They'd rather take 100,000 than 100 million.
Exactly.
Fast money. Hey, Andre, at the hearing today, it's supposed to start around 9 o'clock, and the sentencing is going to happen at the end of the hearing. My understanding is lawyers can still make a case to the judge for sentencing.
Correct.
And
so that's exactly what they're going to do. Each party is going to make their
we should talk about this. What's going to happen?
Make a recommendation of what the judge should do. You know, the defense attorney is going to say give him probation, and you can do a judge under the statute. And the prosecutor will say, no, judge, he can't get probation. He has to get a long system, and this is what we recommend.
And I'm sure the judge already has it set in his mind.
Oh, judge knows exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah.
But he's going to listen. You know,
we should just talk about the procedure.
What?
The procedure, what's going to happen today night.
Break that down.
You know what he's going to do. Yeah. Man, you got me till 8:30.
Okay.
But he know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell he's going to do, but he know what he's going to do.
I just think, y'all, that the problem is we keep going back to the same, like, people talk smack about Jesse Jackson, not because Jesse Jackson is bogus. I've come to the recognition that people dog Jesse Jackson, like the young people dog him, not because they think he was wrong. It's just they want his spot, right? So they want to be the guy that Bob Israel did it the best. They want to be the nigga to call. That's what Bob Israel calls it. So like all these people that are out here fighting to be the nigga to call, that when something go wrong, you call me and I could get everybody together. And so if somebody thinks you're emerging as that, then the goal of the rest of the people who want to be the nigga to call is to attack that person, not recognizing that there shouldn't just be one person. Right? Because when it's one person, then I can shoot the one person. If it's a whole squad, you don't want to be on a peak, you want to be on a plane, and you want other people. There can't keep just being 3 rich black people.
Mames, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
You don't believe black unity is possible?
I think black unity is possible, but I think you have to address... I think black unity is possible, but it requires black honesty. And it requires you to call out what you know. If you done seen the same pattern for the last 20 years, and the same people are involved, and it always happens the same way, but we always pretend like we don't see it, no, black unity is not possible. Not in the current state of affairs as it is. Because, again, we won't be honest about what role people are playing. If you ever notice, there's always the same elders that come into the circle, and we always bow down to the same elders, and the next thing you know, the elder got the contract, and the black folks, and we all out here mau-mauing, right? Then, if you want to talk about who are the people that whenever people start congealing, there's somebody that comes into the meeting, same people, like, y'all ain't nothing, you Greek, you this, you that, you part of the boule, you part of this, and you went to college, so since you ain't folks, then now you are the enemy of the people. Wait, huh? I'm the enemy of the people because I went to college and I joined the black, huh? And then all the mau-maus go down the path of, yeah, I told you, he went to school and the black Greeks are trying to kill all the black people. Huh?
Bro, you know we lost Randy Crumpton, right?
Man, that's my frat brother. Yeah.
That's why some of you kept saying Greek and frat. I'm like, man, Randy.
That's my, man.
Yeah, that's my buddy, man. That's my classmate from law school.
Think about Randy Crumpton was the lawyer for the resistance politics. He was the attorney. But he was a black Greek member. He was a member of Black Greek fraternity. But he helped more independent candidates get on the ballot than anybody would talk about.
Randy was a good dude. Randy was a good man.
Way back.
Good lawyer.
Just to get high. Just to get You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting here with me is Big Otis Wilson. Got to say what's up to my man Andre Graham, but y'all know how I do at the top of the hour. Got to say what's up to the WVON morning show team. Got to say what's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as Miss Sonia Escobar. Andre, so today at 10 o'clock, Judge Vincent Gone will be sentencing Jason Van Dyke. Now, is this something that yesterday that judge had a script? She read an hour-long script. What do you anticipate happens? What is the process now? What do we expect today?
Well, at sentencing, both sides have an opportunity to present what they think the sentence should be. That sentence will start with the prosecution. The prosecution will come up. He will remind the judge of what the charges were, what the Van Dyke was convicted of, and they will suggest a sentence to the judge. The defense will then get up and suggest to the judge what they think the sentence should be. Judge Gahn, given the notoriety of this case, he's going to have a script as well. I'm sure he already knows what he's going to do. He's going to listen to the arguments, but he already knows what he's going to do. And at that point, he's going to issue that sentence. I don't think the second-degree murder is probationable. The aggravated battery is not. He's not going to get probation. That's just not going to happen. They'll tear up Chicago if boy get probation. That's not going to happen. Nor is he going to get 94 years. So my estimate, and I don't know this to be a fact, it's like, this is like trying to call who's going to win the Super Bowl. Right, exactly. I don't know who's going to win. I think that the sentence will be somewhere in the range from 6 to 18 years possibly.
Okay.
But I have no idea.
So what makes us happy? Like what would you like? Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna be happy if he goes to jail. He's gonna go to jail, but I think I'll be happy if he gets 10 years. Cause I think if he gets 6, I know Big O, but I have very low expectations, man. These people been working together for a long time.
Yeah, well, I understand the system as well as you do, but my thing is 16 bullets, and I listened to the judge yesterday, and while her reading, and the only thing that kept sticking out is she was saying from everybody's point of view. They just, describe what they saw from their point of view. When you look at what happened, there ain't no justification for what this man did.
Big O. For white folks.
And shot him 12 times when he was on the ground.
Did you see the jumping body?
Then he talking about he was trying to move. If you shoot anybody with that kind of weapon and that many bullets, their body's gonna flinch.
Man.
So my thing is this. I hope this judge has some sense. And I'm gonna say just like this.
Look, Big O like he might be down at 26 in California.
Exactly.
And Mays, I think also, now the Jason Van Dyke case and sentencing is very important. But I don't want us to we have to understand that there are thousands of black men in the criminal justice system that are being taken advantage of. So as we focus on this case and this sentencing this afternoon, let's not just stay here. There are people, so unfortunately, we have to wait till our loved one is arrested, or our loved one is shot,
or the cameras get there.
Or the cameras get there. We have to be concerned about every single young black man and woman who was over there at 26 in California and is being dealt with unjustly. Not just this Jason Van Dyke sentencing. If he give him 50 years, there are still black people over there that are being misused and abused. Exactly. And we got to keep our eye on that system, and we got to make sure, my job is to fight within that system to get justice for my people. That's my job. You know, that's my job, and that's why I'm hopeful. I'm not discouraged by this. I'm not shocked by it. I'm not discouraged by this. I have made a commitment to give my life struggling and fighting for my people. And if more of us do that, that black unity that you talked about, we can get there.
You think we got it now?
I think we have. Do we have it now? We have it in some pockets. We have it and we don't have it in others. If you just look at the mayoral race, man, they're going to split the black vote so bad, it's going to be a runoff, but don't be shocked if no black person is in it. There are too many black candidates right now, and we're going to split that vote terribly.
You know what? I want to talk about that forum too, but let me do this. Let me take some calls because I got people on the phone lines. Let's go to Samantha. Samantha, you want to talk Chicago, 1690. Samantha, did we lose you? Sam, take us off of mute. Samantha, you... Look, I told you, I knew what was going on. She's like, where the mute button? She was talking. What's going on, Samantha?
There are too many black candidates right now.
Okay, Samantha, you got to get that together. Put her on hold, because she got her radio. She busy trying to hear herself. Let's go to Maurice. Maurice, you want to talk Chicago?
Good morning, black man. How you doing?
Man, I'm peeved.
Andre.
Good morning.
Look, man, you made God bless you all. We certainly need him. You made a comment, Mace, about not marching anymore, right?
Right.
My last march was at the Dirksen Federal Building after the Trayvon Martin killing. And the only reason I went to that one was because Melody Span Cooper made a personal appeal. But I'm done with that stuff. Here's where I'm at with the marching. We've done too much marching while others are merging. So just let me be candid and frank. The only marching we need to do now is straight to the white man's bank. I'm done, y'all.
Man, I heard that. March to their bank.
But look, but if you ain't got no money in the bank, you wasting your time and you're going to get arrested. We have to create banks. We have to build wealth.
Well, you know what?
I understand his point. He's saying if we're not focusing on economic development, we're wasting our time. He has a good point.
So my question is, because we march. Hold on, I got you right now. I'm setting it up. All right, so my thing is we marching. Then we go. Then after this is going to get a whole bunch of people active. They going to be ready to go fight the power. And then they going to round them up. And the next thing you know, it's going to be somebody say, come on, man, let's march on this construction site. And then the next thing is we're going to shut them down. But where are the companies? How do we open the doors? Here to talk about that is my man, Bob. Well, you know, I want to call you Bob Israel, but that's how the people know you, Bob. So it's Israel. What's up, Israel? You want to talk Chicago?
First of all, I want to start off, thanks for answering my call, but I want to back up to this situation yesterday. I'll be watching a lot of History Channel Rock documentary. The Klan don't convict the Klan. It's just that damn simple.
The Klan don't? Hey, man, they used to be like, come to court. We'll welcome you in court. We got you. Right. Okay, what else, Israel?
And then I just got a call from a female friend of mine, Inglewood, that you made a statement saying, ain't no activist starting no construction jobs. Well, you know, I jumped out the frying pan to the fire started one. I'm down there working in them damn high rises. I'm like the only black man in there. So they don't want us down. There's like 60 cranes down there. And they don't want us in there. I mean, I made a mistake joining the union, all that, man. They harassing me. I mean, and then let me back up a little bit too. I've met with these people, these city officials. They say we got more groups than companies.
Right. That's the whole thing. It's like, and let me tell you, That, Bob, is what I'm talking about, Brother Israel. It is everybody start a group. If somebody get a $30,000 contract because they moved on the site, then the next thing you know, it's another group because they're like, we got this site. And then they fighting to move. They fighting to have a group, not a company. Israel, you got a cleanup company now, though, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're fighting to open the door so that you have... Now, who do you hire when you put in your company?
My guys from Inglewood. I got a couple from West Side. I don't discriminate like your boy in 27. Talking about, man, 27 only, West Side only.
Hey, man, you got to hire some black people for 27. Hey, man, let me tell you something. If you come in 27, you ain't living in 27. You better get somebody from 27. Everybody in 27 working unless they don't want to. But, Bob, what you're doing is my point. There has to be a progression, right? We protest to protest to protest to protest to protest. Instead of we protest to open the door for the company and then we hire the people to work in the company so we ain't got to protest, we have the relationship with the businces.
And unfortunately, it's a bunch of front companies out here, too. They black on paper, you look at them, oh, you black man, you go in his office, oh, you just think you're in Europe.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Israel. Go ahead.
Israel, how you doing? This is Otis Wilson. Why don't you sit down with these other folks and come together and figure out something so they're all fighting against one another?
Israel. So I actually hung up, but just so you know, Israel was in that mix and he stopped. Once he got in the door, he created a company. So there have been people that have created companies, but I'm going to tell you, Big O, one of the things that I've learned in this whole activism thing, I could show you the text, right? The text say, I don't really want to work, I just want the money. Right? And so a lot of the activists don't really, let's say a lot. The ones that have made it a profession, their profession is not actually getting people jobs. Their profession is actually getting you to pay them so that they don't protest you. And the job isn't really to get the job, it's to, the cameras. Talk Chicago 1690, we'll be back. See?
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson.
Israel got a company and he doing his thing now. But he used to, so he was one of the guys, huh? It's grown. I mean, I think he got like 20 people. But that's a good sized company to go from protesting, right? And I think
I don't minimize anything that he's doing. I'm just thinking.
Because don't nobody want to come up under, because this is what happens. You be like, man, I'm as smart as that nigga.
I want to be the boss.
I'm as smart as him. And what happens is I got more guys. I got more muscle. But it ain't do I have more muscle, do I have people that can actually do the job when I get there. So what happens is, the thing is, you're going to, let me tell you what, 100 people going to show up here, and I'll be like, what y'all want me to do? There you go. Whatever I could do within 100 people, but as soon as I get you out my face, then I'm like, pay them niggas and don't never let them come back around here. And most of them are okay with that, right? So there's a $30,000, there's a bag. In most construction budgets now, they have like a contingent budget so that if the protesters come, I can just give you this $30,000, go away. It is. And that's what activism, in a lot of cases, is a shakedown, right? It's like under the guise of, I'm for the black people. Now, if you want to show me about being for the black people, show me the sustained jobs, show me the sustained contracts. Don't show me how many doors you kicked in.
Don't you agree that we have to help them? We can't, the activism in and of itself ain't the problem. For instance, but for the activism, Jason Van Dyke would have never got indicted, ever.
I'm with you on that.
Ever that. So we need activism, we need social unrest, we need demonstration, but we have to help and teach them the next step.
If they're not willing to listen. So here's the thing.
There's always a couple people.
And those couple people are the Israels, the Melvins, right? So think about Israel started a company. Melvin started a company. You think about how many people started with Melvin? Right. Melvin, you don't see Melvin protesting. Melvin got people working on job sites, right? Them same guys he was having go protest, but there are those people, but then there are the other people that still take remnants of the old street organizations, the prison component, the ex-offenders, they congeal it together, and then they say, here is a racket we can get into.
We have raised the community.
I can go get 100 former big athletes.
Yes. And go walk up to a construction site. Go act the fool. Go jump on the cranes.
And in fact, we have raised the whole community around extortion activism. I mean, straight up. Go down there, raise hell for a little while. They give us some money, and we go about.
And we going about our business. You'll get a text that'll say, "This is what'll happen," and then you'll get a text that say, 10 of us, we going down because they ain't giving no black jobs to nobody. Wow. Then you show up, and the activists show up, and you got all these people that's like, what? And then the dude, the foreman, looks out there and say, you, come here. What you want to do? I got this much for you. I'm going to give you 2 people to sweep up the thing, and then you go out. Ain't no more protest, the building go up.
You remember I'm going to get you sucker, right? That scene that I'm going to get you sucker. When he came in and said, what happened, man? The revolution was on, and he was fighting the power. He said, man, we went downtown, and the man was giving away jobs there. Revolution was over, the man was giving away jobs.
But it's a racket, and it's like, and so if you expose it, then what winds up happening is you become the enemy of the people. That's what you see then. It's Maze, you ain't shit. Because COINTELPRO done found him a new one to put the cables on, and it'll be a year from now. There's certain people you watching a year from now, everybody learns the lesson. He done spent a year helping you make enemies, and then at the end of the game, you be like, oh, it was you that was the, right? And then you be like, but now you done called everybody out, you done called them out their name, never did no research, don't know who you talking to that's on your team. Craziness. Okay. Give a brother brain damage. And brain damage on the mic don't manage nothing but making a sucker you equal. Don't be another sequel. Express yourself. Express yourself. Come on, do it. Self. Express yourself. Do it. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting there with me is attorney Andre Grant. Attorney Grant, I know you got to get out of here, so what should we be keeping in mind, my brother?
Well, 2 things. First of all, Maze, let me say something about our dear brother who passed, attorney
Randy
Crumpton. We lost him earlier this week. Great brother, great lawyer, classmate of mine. Instrumental in black politics as an attorney. He was also very instrumental in black film in Chicago, as well as black film nationwide, part of the International Black Film Festival. So we're going to miss Randy. His services, I think, is next Saturday.
Sometimes printed that wrong. It is next Saturday.
Correct. It's next Saturday. So WVON family, don't forget attorney Randy Crumpton.
I want to also say that Randy Crumpton was a member of the greatest fraternity in the world, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, Inc. And for all of our activists who like, oh, the Black Greeks, I just want to make sure y'all are clear that Randy Crumpton was a fighter for independent politics. Oh, yeah. And so many of the independent candidates that made it to the ballot or that needed someone to defend their challenges, Randy Crumpton was always there, money or not. He always hit me for the money, but the rest of the people. Andre, what else do we need to know, man? Tell us what we need to know about this.
We need to stay vigilant, and we don't, and Maze, as a people, we don't love each other enough. We have to love each other more, and when you love yourself and when you love your people, it's easy to fight for each other. So, and the fight for black people is a chess match. It's not checkers. It goes on. Racism was here before we got here. Racism is going to be here before we die. But the issue is, what legacy did you leave? I don't care if you're a lawyer, a former professional football player, a journalist, whatever it is. Have your people first. Your people first. And if we fought for each other, and if we had the same unity that other ethnic and racial groups have, if we had that kind of love for each other, we'll get out of this thing overnight. But we have to teach that love because it's been stolen from us. We've been taught to hate each other and dislike each other and fight with each other. But we can do it, man. I'm encouraged. I got to be encouraged. I got children.
Well, you know what?
I got to be encouraged.
I am.
You encouraged too.
I'm encouraged to keep fighting, but I'm going to tell you, I think black folks, this is time for internal. I think we keep looking at everybody else. I think we already know we ain't getting justice from anybody. And we're not, like, the expectation that somebody cares about us is part of, in my estimation, our problem. We keep looking to someone hoping that they're going to be who they have proved themselves. They're going to be someone than who they've proved themselves to be. Whether it was the Freddie Gray case and we saw all of those cops get off, whether it is Mike Brown and we saw that cop get off, wherever we've seen this, we very rarely ever see the police. I think because we were so close to it, because it was for 3 years protesting, but let me make sure that we give the props to the activists that were really doing, brother like Will Calloway, who was on the front line, who did not let this thing go, wasn't looking for the cameras.
Was on the front line before the cameras came.
Before the cameras came. And so when you think about that, do we have a clip from Will? Let me hear what Will had to say.
We want justice for Laquan. Don't protest, go vote. Turn this tragic incident into political power. That's what we need to do. I'm not saying take to the streets anymore. It's time for us to take to the polls.
See, now listen, that's growth. That's growth. That's growth.
But that's a 20-year-old with growth.
Exactly.
But think about the 20-year-old and then think about the 40-year-old that's still going backwards.
You remember what Will said when Jason Van Dyke got convicted? He said, my generation showed up. My generation showed up. And as long as the next generation continue to show up, we got hope, man.
Man, I'm going to tell you. Brother, Attorney Grant, tell people how they can catch up with you. Where's your website? You got a website, man?
Brother, I am anti-social media. I'm not on...
The website ain't social media.
I'm not on Facebook.
Okay. Well,
I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on... tweaking, I'm not on
gramming.
Brother, they know how to reach me.
All right, well, you know what? If you are in the issue, you got a case, you know what, and you need to get out, you need somebody, you got to talk to.
But it's always a pleasure, my brother. Thank you for having me. Otis, I need that book, man.
We're gonna put that thing.
I need that book. I need that book, and thank you.
All right, Attorney Grant, we appreciate having you here. It's always an honor to have you in the building. Big O.
Thank you.
Well, man, Big O, what you thinking, man? What's up, man?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, everything I'm hearing and everything I know is we as a people. When you say, you love somebody, it means it's not about I, it's about we. And when we all love one another, we can come together.
How we get that love, my brother?
It starts in the house. With the families. I mean, we really have to understand when you're tired of something and you're tired of it, there's no way to go but up or forward. And that's what we need to do. I mean, until we do that, we got to stop looking, like you say, looking for the cameras, taking that $10, getting paid off, or being mad because ain't nothing gonna happen. You got to put all that to the side and just really, really stand up. And stand for something. Are you gonna die for nothing?
And die for nothing. And I just want to think about what are black people arguing over? I mean, just think about what you meant. Think about what you arguing with. Think about what you arguing over. You arguing over space, air, and time. Because you sure ain't arguing about no money.
And who you arguing with?
Who you arguing with? Some old black folks. White folks over there rape, robbing, and pillage. You got your grandma all strapped up. And you got time to come after the black folks?
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm telling you, black people in Chicago are the best trained Negroes in the country.
No.
They swear they free, best trained Negro. You know what? You wanna prove how good, well trained the Negroes are? You wanna prove it? Just let one black person look like he might get some camera time. Put a camera in it. Like I always say, if you add a man to the situation with women, it's gonna go crazy. You wanna get the activists all worked up? Add a camera. Put a camera somewhere. You see a camera? Oh, they gonna clown you. They gonna act a fool. In the meantime, white boys like, see, I told you, got him again. It's the Talk of Chicago, 1690. Black lollipops. I'm tired of being one. It's the Talk of Chicago. We'll be back.
Live from the WVON newsroom.
But honestly, I really, we keep saying the same rhetoric over and over.
That's my point.
And we know it. But are we that scared?
Yes. Look, you can whoop on a black person all day long with no repercussion. The black folks ain't never going against the guy in real power. No.
That's the man that brought him over here.
But look, this one, cause they'll tell you, look, they'll say, I may let that white man do better than me, but that nigga right there, oh no, he ain't. The white man, you be, but you ain't gonna. All right. No, you ain't saying nothing.
He's the one that's holding both of us down.
Exactly.
The one holding both of us down. Wow, yeah.
Let me see. Can you see yourself over there?
Yes, I can see myself.
Good.
Peace, man.
Powerful, impactful song for right now.
Powerful, impactful song.
You already played.
Something from Curtis Mayfield, maybe.
People get ready.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a train
coming.
You ready?
Yep.
Ball of confusion. Marvin Gaye. I'm like it's because of the way I hair, man. You know, they just beat each other, just beat each other. I'm trying. What I'm over here thinking about, man, is I'm just trying to figure out these two people. One guy they brought from the Bahamas, this white man.
When?
Back in the day, when slavery.
Oh, you talking about Willie Lynch?
Was it Willie Lynch?
It's actually a fake story, but the guy who taught them how to put the slaves in, that's the Willie Lynch joint.
Okay. But, and who's that in Alabama that? Was it Bull Connor?
Uh-huh. Man, don't get me started talking about that old Bull Connor.
I'm just saying, that stuff worked.
Yeah, it's big. And what's so crazy is, I always feel like the people who think they are the most conscious be executing the same stuff. Yeah. Right? Like, you think you are this division in our community. They know they can just throw a piece of meat and somebody is gonna take it. Somebody is gonna volunteer to be the nigga whooper.
The strongest one.
Huh?
The alpha dog.
Somebody wanna be like, I will whoop the nigga's fight.
You a poet, man.
The nigga whooper.
Bro, thank you for having me, man.
Thank you for being here, man. Keep saving the black people. Like, people, look, it's like, I'm gonna tell you, the thing with me is, they keep sending people, and everybody keeps volunteering to be the nigga whooper. They be like, I could take him, boss. I could take him, boss. Boss, let me get at him. Instead of being like, hey, yo, that brother talking about some real stuff. They be like, boss, I bet I could get him. I could get him this time.
You said Samuel Jackson?
Yeah. Uh-huh. We sick. And it be funny because even the most conscious people, swear they conscious, be the first ones to be like, I got him, boss. Let me take care of this knuckle. Knuckle.
People get ready.
Change is coming.
Yeah, I can't say it on air or nothing, man, but I'm meeting with some people this week. And then hold it under your hat. Don't put it out there.
Okay.
I'm getting with a group that we might buy the Denver Broncos. Yeah. I mean, if this happens.
Dang, that mean you ain't gonna be on the show no more, man.
No, I'll be on the show because I can do stuff from,
Damn, Big O.
I'll be limited.
Big O, that's fucking huge. Is that what you met with Dude about?
No, I just met with these people 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I thought it was when you went to the box with Dude.
Then I had finally with dinner with them a couple of nights, and they put me on the payroll. They give me a part of one company, and the ultimate goal is that I'll have a percentage of Denver Broncos.
And that's I'm gonna come to Denver because Denver.
Well, I'm not really sure what my role would be, but I said I would fit better in player personnel, scouting department, and overseeing a lot of stuff and making sure. So now I'm doing my due diligence. All the folks that I know that's in organizations, calling them up, finding out what's the ins and outs of what they're doing.
That's dope shit. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. Equity, man. I'm talking about ownership. I'm talking about, and then having an owner with some
$5 billion deal.
Damn!
Yeah.
Damn! Damn!
So I'm gonna put a few things to the side.
Damn!
But some things like my foundation and stuff I do in the community, my apprenticeships piece, I'm not gonna let that go.
You can't let that go because that helped to your. You can move that anyway.
Yeah, I can get filled to that.
Damn, Big O! That's good. Is it? They got a good shot at getting it?
Oh yeah, they got.
You like they got?
Oh,
yeah.
They have what?
All right, Big O. I'm just telling you, man.
$45 billion.
Don't forget the little people,
and
man.
They don't have a lot of debt.
Man.
On that team, you know. So I'm gonna sign off on the contract on Wednesday.
Big O.
Oh yeah. Like you said, life changing.
Man, it just come out the blue too, man. Yeah. See, but that's what good when you do good by people, good stuff come to you, man. Yeah. Good stuff come to you, and man, to be an NFL owner, bro, that's a real elite club.
Yeah, sit in that room.
That's a real damn elite club, bro.
Yeah, sit in that room with all them rednecks.
That's all right.
The good old boys.
Right, but you know we ain't got to worry about you because you gonna say it.
Because I want to see McCaskey's face.
Ah!
When I walk in the room.
Shit.
At the table.
Excuse me. Move over. Push his chair over just a little bit. You in my space. Oh, yeah. Dang, Big O, that's huge, man. Yeah. See, you selling us out for Vic Fangio, man. Oh, dang, man. I'm already heartbroken about that.
Yeah, he'll be my employee.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. That's what I always say. I want the white boys working for me. That's what I say. Like, if I was to get super rich, I think I'm gonna get white servants, so I could just be like, "Hey, get my shoes." Are we not back yet? Man.
Need no baggage. Get on board.
You got the camera. You can sing it? Can you sing? You know the words? Do you know the words?
No.
Okay.
Thank the Lord.
Because I have her bring it on for you.
People get ready. Change to Jordan. This just goes to coast. There's hope for all of us. There's hope.
You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in with me is Big Otis Wilson. Yeah. Attorney Andre Grant had to cut out Big O, but you know, we chose this song, Great Brother, Attorney Andre Grant. You know, this is the Next Level Morning Music Choice. It is brought to you by Next Level Health, which is a Medicaid-managed healthcare plan for people with Medicaid who live in Cook County only. The organization manages and coordinates the needs of their members one-on-one right in their own communities. Give them a call, Next Level Health, 844-807-9734, or visit the website, nextlevelhealthillinois.com for more information. Also, follow us on social media at Next Level Illinois. Big O, you picked this song. People get ready to change is coming. Do you think a change is coming?
I really believe it's coming. It's been long overdue and it's taking its time, but it's got to come. We got to have a different mindset. We got to be vigilant and we got to be hard at work, fast at work.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm through with the hope.
They got to keep hope alive.
I won't change. I'm through hope, and I feel like hope is this imaginary word that keeps us grasping instead of action, right? Like when you think about hope, it's like you daydream. It's like you're looking off into the sun and you're saying, oh, I wish one day upon a star. But the reality is, I'm tired of hoping and I'm ready to start doing. But I don't want a Negro do, right? Because you know, Negro do is, look, we gonna get mad. Let's go amp up the guys. Let's go get outside. Let's go stand up. And at the end of the day, we'll still be poor.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn. But Big O, it's like we cannot continue to allow this to happen. So first thing I'm gonna say is I'm gonna call out the Democratic Party of Cook County that has created a system that protected and appointed judges that were not really for us. You know, I've been going on and on and on and on, but this judicial process in Illinois has created a closed loop of murder, continuous murder of black people that never has been resolved in court. And we saw it yesterday, and we'll see it again today. Yesterday, it wouldn't even have gotten that far. They would have kept it in finance, they would have settled it and got out. But this time we had a tape, so they had to bring it out. But even when they brought it out, they brought it to one of their appointed judges. They'll tell you it came out of a computer, right? But all of a sudden, it's appointed judge. It goes to an appointed judge who's not been elected by the people, who doesn't have to face the people for making this decision. That is the responsibility of the Cook County Democratic Party. And it is part of the reason that Ed Burke became so powerful, was because listen to me, black, white, Asian, Latino, every judge had to go through Ed Burke to be slated. You want to doubt me? Cross-reference the contributions of all the people that are Cook County judges or people who were seeking to get slated with, and see what their donation was to one of those committees, those $19 million. How much of that $19 million money, and when you know, and people knew that that was the reason Ed Burke wanted to control the the judicial system. So when I understand why Joe Barrios would do it, right? Joe Barrios was the assessor. They had a deal going with the property tax. But why, when we get a black Cook County Board president or president of the Cook County Democratic Party who knows the party has had a history of racism and exclusion and kicking judges out, why do you then reappoint him to that position? Right. I hope it don't have nothing to do with the $116,000 fundraiser. I hope that this doesn't reach into the state's attorney's department. I hope that this doesn't reach into all of these other nooks and crannies. But what I am telling you is right now, the Cook County Democratic Party, led by our mayoral candidate, got some more explaining to do to black people. You want to put us in a commercial about what you did to help Laquan McDonald? What are you doing now to deal with these racist judges? Since you want to put a commercial out, what are you doing right now? What you said Ed Burke should step down, but what do you do? Like how you had to give the money back? I think every judge that got appointed,
get the money back.
Not even just get the money back. I want to know, what were you appointed based on? True. What was the process? Did you have to sign something? Did you have to answer questions? What was the judicial review process to make a person get slated? Because how does a woman like this get slated when black people are so big in the Democratic Party? So somebody had to interview her, right? And somebody said, how do you feel about police and black-owned? And during this time, what do you think about Laquan McDonald? How do you feel about police? She somewhere in there said, the police are my friend. Now, when you allow the person who has protected the police and protected this murder cycle stay in the position, are you not complicit? I know Alderman Brookins wanted to be the chair of judicial. He's a lawyer. There's plenty of black lawyers in city that are committeemen or could be. So why do you then go and reappoint this person while you're talking about hanging your hat on criminal justice reform? Will we see the people who use Laquan McDonald in commercials? Will they be outside today? Will they be standing arm in arm next to our activists? No, I probably can't do that because one of the activists is running against one of your homies. So the politics is going to outweigh the death of that young man.
And that's what keeps sticking out in my brain right now. When listening to you, what you're saying is, it's politics as usual, and we won't do our homework to really get out there and vote and change that thing.
Big O.
Change that outlook.
Big O, if you knew that one person approved $500 million in police murder settlements,
they got to go.
Would you reappoint them to put them back in that position?
It's costing us money. They got to go.
But you want to be the reform progressive candidate. Let me go to the phone lines. Sarah, you on Talk Chicago, 1690. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Good morning.
It was a pleasure watching you and the rest of the shuffling crew in '85.
Thank you very much.
Let me say this: those 3 officers who were acquitted on yesterday, they weren't on trial. What was on trial was the fact that did they get away with what they did in order to cover this up? That was the actual thing that was on trial. Because within the police department itself, okay, during this whole thing, you have people, real people on the department who were privy, who got wind of, who listened to audio, who listened to or who saw video of those officers. They heard exactly what Van Dyke said.
I got to stop you right there. It's the Talk Chicago, 1690 AM. We'll be back to wrap this up after traffic and the weather.
More of the morning show.
Yeah, they did it, but they didn't do it. Hey, Melvin, they did it, but they didn't do it under the guise of Laquan McDonald with everything going on, right? It's like in the face of all of it, and they didn't claim to be reformers. They didn't make TV commercials saying.
Maze, you know we ain't got no love for each other, but I gotta tell you, high five on this shit.
Thank you.
High five on that shit.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I'm just telling you, high five on that shit. I've been talking about this Ed Burke and the head of the Judiciary Committee. And you just called that shit out with Tony Prick because she got some issues.
Big time.
Okay, cool.
Hey, baby.
My girl.
How are you?
Bear down, baby.
Bear down.
Yeah.
Man, that broke my heart, Big O. What you do? You know everybody was playing your clip. They was like, Big O did this. He said it's that kicker.
I think it's going to be 2 things that are going to screw that up.
Man.
You know, yesterday we talked about how they fired all these black coaches from the NFL. We ain't got a chance in this world. If you ain't got no money, you just fucked up. Praise the Lord, I got money. Cause
I want y'all to understand. It's like she's sitting up there. Yeah, I feel like anybody connected to dude, they already knew what the lick was. It's like if you was in the game and you got in under Ed Burke, then you was playing.
Tim Evans. Why did he take Diane Camden off the case and put Dominica Stevenson on there?
Probably because they was trying to get him. I don't know what's going on, but I know that the same. See, my thing is, if I was Tim Evans, I would have screwed them all anyway because they tried to take him out.
They tried
and
to
Ed
take
Burke
him out.
and all of them.
What did he have to lose?
The problem is black people, even after white people prove to you who they are and that they don't care about you, like we still scared to whoop them.
So
like we scared to push back.
So let me tell you a quick story. So John Stroger, president of the Cook County Board, right? This was the most loyal Negro to the Democratic Party in the history of politics. They did not give him a dime. They did not slate him for it. And one day I went up to him, I said, "So are you black now, John?" I said, "You get it now, John?" See, I'm a young Turk at that time. I'm a cub reporter. I'm like, "Do you get it now? Do you get it now?" Some bullshit.
But piss on your
Good job. Good. You did a
Thank
damn
you.
good job, Maze. Damn good job.
Change gonna come. Oh, yes it is.
Too hard living, afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky.
It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it is.
He's got to.
Go to the movies from downtown.
And they tell me I can't hang around.
Me, oh.
Hang around.
It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it is. You are tuned in to the Talk Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm going to tell y'all I'm feeling some kind of way. In less than 2 hours, an hour and a half, we will start to get the Jason Van Dyke verdict. Yesterday, we saw the blue code of sentencing. I'm sorry. We saw the blue code of silence on trial yesterday. Not guilty. Found not guilty. And then we all let out a collective groan. I think about what happened when Rodney King got off. I mean, when the police officers got off of beating Rodney King. I think about how many we saw the police that killed Mike Brown. We saw what happened to Freddie Gray. We've been seeing black people getting killed. It seems like nonstop. 16 shots, Sonia. 16 shots. We saw it. We heard it. We saw the body jumping. We saw the smoke coming off. We all watched the tape. We all saw it. The judge said maybe we didn't see what we thought we saw. But this is what I know. I saw 16 shots. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. I want you to feel it. I want you to be mad. But before you get mad and go out in the streets and turn it up, turn it in. Turn it in. Get mad. Turn it into a nuclear explosion internal. Make it be your internal combustion to change what's going on. We got mayor's races going on. Look, y'all. The Democratic Party complicit. Complicit. We got to hold them accountable. Black folks got to be more concerned about what black people going to do than white people. These people come walking in our neighborhoods. White folks walk through our neighborhoods with impunity. They do it, they appoint judges, and then they will send you a piece of mail that tells you to vote for her. They will send it to you and hope that you forgot. So before you go get pissed off, and I know I ain't supposed to say it, I want you to take that and I want you to turn it inside. I don't want everybody talking about they're going down to the street, they're going to the courthouse. To do what? To do what? The same, more the same? I'm not denigrating your protest, but we've been protesting for 3 years. It's a price to pay. And I'm telling you, they done figured that out. They're going to have the bicycles out there. Y'all gonna march right down the middle of the street. And they're going to march you. Keep on walking, Negroes, until you're tired. Walk it out. And I want you to turn that into some internal combustion. And then when a brother come tell you about, man, you see what that Negro did? I want you to say, did you see what they just did? Did you hear the 16 shots? Did you see the video? before you start talking about what some other black person did.
You say you trying to chew my?
You hear that?
Are you kill my? Out here today. And you just trying to hit me with the car?
We are under full-out assault. You watched a 51-year-old man this week knock out a 12-year-old girl, no consequence. Negroes taking videos. Taking videos. That white boy should have been laid out. Sorry, I'm not calling for violence. But I'm telling you this. We are under full-out assault, and Negroes are still trying to fight each other. We trying to fight a war going forward, and you getting shot in the back by people on your own team. Everybody has a role, a different position. But I'm being ready to tell you, if you don't learn your role, guess what? Y'all talk about y'all want a war with no discipline. You can't even, if the Arab store closed, what you gonna do? Starve? Don't tell me about no war. Tell me about preparing. Tell me about what you building. Tell me about how do we defend ourselves and our children. Big O, I done lost my stuff this morning.
Well, I tell you, you couldn't have put it any better. And all I say is this. Get your game plan together, prepare yourselves, and go vote.
Man.
And go vote. Don't stand on the sidelines. You don't get in the game and do something, then you deserve what you get.
And you getting it. Can I tell you? You are getting it. What you got yesterday was the result of what you did 4, 6, 8, 10 years ago. What we've been doing. So while everybody at the weave and the nail shop, because I'm telling you, the Wakandans are listening here. But how many times have you taken this message to Bebe now? Have we talked to our guys and stopped saying, hey man, but I guess the guys that could go talk to the guys is busy taking out the black Greeks and taking out all the sellout coon Negroes, but won't throw rice at a wedding for the white folks. Come on, man. Let's do better. Let me do this real quick. Carl, you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, but Mays, I see where you're going with this with Prince, and that is true. Did she know? But at the same time, did she really know about this particular person as she was slated? Was she?
Everybody knew. Everybody knew. James, you're on the Talk of Chicago, 1690. It's a closed loop. That's why they all shocked that he got caught. He made every judge since it was. Now, I'm not tripping, but I'm saying when you got the chance to move, you move. Go ahead, James.
Yes, I just want to say, Injustice came over here on a boat, and we came in the hold of that same boat, so we expect what's going on. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Thank you, James. Mansong, you got 30 seconds. I know you got a long one, so you got to keep it quiet.
All right. Sure. In the spirit of Dr. King and SCLC and Malcolm X and the Black Power movement, 3 things. Stop being consumer junkies, keep your money in your pocket, and veggie backing on Maurice. Let's take our money out of these white banks. We can do that tomorrow, the next day, or next week, and transfer that money to black-owned banks. And veggie backing on Charles. Now is the time for all us to rush the 10 by 10 to win. That's the block group voting. We're going to do a plebiscite within that group and decide who we want as mayor and alderman, etc. Go to 10by10towin.com. Let's get on that bandwagon, y'all, and do this thing.
There it is. That is Mansong. Hey, Big O, you got anything you want to say before you go?
I just like to say, just stand up for yourself.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Be tired of being tired of nothing. Stand up for yourself and get something.
For Neff Flournoy in the newsroom, for Miss Sonia Escobar, the music conductor of the Soul Plane, my man Big O, the Air Marshal. I am the host of the WVON Morning Show, and if you don't like it, you can still tell them. May said, we out of here. Peace.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother.
Couldn't put it any better.
Man, Big O, I'm super proud of you, man. That's going to be off the chisang.
I'm excited. I mean, I've been praying, and I'm just saying I'm fortunate that when you do the right things for the right reasons, the right things happen. But I didn't think it was going to happen like this.
Man.
I never in my wildest imagination ever thought it would happen like this.
Dang.
But when they came to me, I was like,